Chapter 3404. Buzz. He attacked mercilessly. Yan Nantian could only block with the Saint Chariot. He used all of his abilities, but he was no match for Lin Xian. The heaven-destroying finger, the thunder god's body, and even the immortal burying tower. However, that illusion was shattered by Lin Xian's attack. In the end, Yan Nantian was defeated. However, he didn't use the Emperor Regeneration Talisman. Instead, he used a secret technique to recover. At the same time, he covered his body with the Saint Chariot. Then he turned into a ray of light and fled for his life. Throughout the entire process, Yan Nantian activated the teleportation array 3 times, but Lin Xian caught up to him each time. Just like that, they arrived near planet Suzaku before they knew it. Along the way, they met some powerful cultivators. When they saw Lin Xian's terrifying killing intent, they all backed off. Just a little more and they would reach planet Suzaku. Yan Nantian's eyes were bloodshot. He took out precious heaven and earth treasures from his storage ring and devoured them without any regard for his life. At this moment, he couldn't care about anything else. As long as he could survive, he could get everything he had. He had even started to burn his bloodline. He also activated the last teleportation array in his hand. "You want to leave? Stay!" Lin Xian let out an angry roar and attacked again. However, Yan Nantian was determined this time. He actually split his soul and an avatar to die for him. As for his true body, he entered the teleportation formation and disappeared. Lin Xian's expression was cold after he killed the avatar. That attack had damaged Yan Nantian's foundation. Even if Yan Nantian was the successor of a great emperor, he wouldn't be able to recover in a few hundred years. However, that wasn't what he wanted. What he wanted was to kill Yan Nantian. Therefore, Lin Xian let out a roar, gathered the power of all 9 heavens and 10 earths, and charged over. So what if Yan Nantian returned to planet Suzaku? If he wanted to kill someone, not even the heavens could stop him. Planet Suzaku. The red earth and the temperature of the flames were so high that even space was burning. However, Yan Nantian smiled. Finally, he was back in their territory. This time, he was safe. When he returned this time, he would definitely go into seclusion. Before he reached the Sage Realm, he would not come out even if he were beaten to death. Just as he was about to leave, his scalp suddenly went numb, and he screamed in horror. In the sky, a beam of light tore through the astral winds and charged over. "Yan Nantian, you're not leaving!" A cold voice resounded through the 9 heavens and 10 earths. "Damn it, are they chasing after me again?" Yan Nantian's scalp went numb as he quickly fled. However, Lin Xian made his move. Without another word, he took out the left hand of the devil. He had obtained the devil's left hand from Cloud Sky Saint. Previously, Cloud Sky Saint's strength was not as strong as his. However, after he had the demon's left hand, his strength surpassed Cloud Sky Saint's, and he was able to contend with Cloud Sky Saint. However, in the end, he actually died at the hands of the left hand of the devil. All of this made the devil's left hand seem extremely strange. However, Lin Xian was very interested. Thus, he sealed it. Originally, he had planned to study it when he had the time. But now, he couldn't care less. In an instant, he merged the left hand of the devil into his palm. Then, he viciously pressed down on the ground. At this moment, the left hand of the devil combined with the 5 elemental laws to form a killing blow. No matter how strong Yan Nantian was, he couldn't withstand it. With one strike, he was reduced to ashes. However, Lin Xian didn't relax because he knew that the other party had many trump cards. He had seen the Emperor Regeneration Talisman many times. Therefore, he knew that he couldn't kill the other party. As expected, he found a rune in the blood mist through the heavenly secret child prodigy. It was an intact rune. The rune trembled, and in an instant, Yan Nantian recovered again. His expression was incomparably cold, and his strength had reached its peak. Yan Nantian recovered to his peak in an instant. Without another word, he burned the 9 Emperor runes, the 4 mythical beast phantoms, and the power of the bloodline in his body to the extreme. At the same time, he shouted coldly. I am Yen Nantian, quickly informed the Vermilion Bird Palace. I am being chased by Lin Xian. Whoever can save me, I will give him the Emperor Mystique. His voice resounded throughout the world. It seemed that in order to survive, Yen Nantian didn't care about anything else. On the other hand, Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. An intact Emperor rune? It seems that your trump card is finally about to be used up. He charged forward again. Who dares to attack young Master Yen? In the distance, 3 streams of light rushed over. They were 3 sages. The 3 sages were originally nearby to gather and exchange cultivation experiences. Now that they heard Yen Nantian's voice, their eyes lit up. Yen Nantian was being chased by Lin Xian. They hadn't gone to the Void Ocean, and the news of the Void Ocean hadn't spread. Therefore, they knew that Lin Xian was stronger than Yen Nantian. But that was all. Yen Nantian was at most a half-sage and might be able to fight against a sage. However, if the 3 sages worked together, they could definitely take him down. As long as they saved Yen Nantian, they would be able to obtain the Emperor Mystique. A Emperor Mystique would be able to make their strength undergo earth-shattering changes. Therefore, under such temptation, they attacked decisively. Those who stop me will die, Lin Xian roared. He reached out with his demonic left hand and blasted the 3 sages into a bloody mist. This time, he didn't hold back. Therefore, the 3 first heaven stage sages were completely killed. How terrifying was that? It scared Yen Nantian out of his wits. There were still some people in the surrounding tens of millions of miles. However, when they wanted to attack again, they were completely stunned. The 3 first heaven stage sages were instantly killed. This strength terrified them. No one dared to attack again. However, even if they didn't dare to attack Lin Xian, they could still inform Vermilion Bird Palace. That would also be a great contribution. Needless to say, some people were really lucky to encounter people from Vermilion Bird Palace. In a mountain range, Vermilion Bird Palace's sages and some geniuses were besieging a secret cave. When they received the news, their expressions immediately changed. Yen Nantian was being chased by Lin Wudi. And his life was on the line. Kill! They directly rushed over. Yen Nantian was already scared out of his wits. He no longer had the arrogance and pride of a great emperor's successor. At this moment, he only hoped that someone could save him. He had already burned his blood and swallowed all the most precious pills in his hands. However, the distance between the two was getting closer and closer. Moreover, he had also been hit by the demonic left hand. Although it wasn't a complete hit, the aftershock of the energy had caused half of his body to be smashed. Just when he thought that he was definitely going to die. Suddenly, an angry roar came from afar. Stop! Who dares to hurt young Master Yen? The Vermilion Bird Palace's sage has arrived. Everyone kneel down. Crazy roars sounded. It was obvious that there were more than one powerhouse coming. Chapter 3405. Great, I'm saved. Yen Nantian heaved a sigh of relief. In an instant, the sages from afar arrived. 5 first heaven stage sages and 16 half-sages. Such a lineup could be said to be very powerful. Therefore, Yen Nantian heaved a sigh of relief when he saw it. After swallowing a few precious pills, he said, "Help me block him. I want to return to Vermilion Bird Palace and immediately go into seclusion. I've injured my foundation." What? Hearing this, the sages of Vermilion Bird Palace changed their expressions. They weren't surprised that Yen Nantian was injured because Lin Xian was very powerful. But to injure one's foundation, this was not a small problem. It might affect one's future cultivation, so they didn't dare to be careless. Young Master Yen, don't worry. Go back and I'll help you kill this kid. Yes, we have more people. After killing Lin Wudi, no one will be able to threaten young Master. The 5 sages' eyes shone with a cold light. The 16 half-sages behind them also sneered. Lin Xian's expression was cold. Kill me? He poured the great dragon sword soul into the great destruction spear and then used the left hand of the devil to hold the great destruction spear. At the same time, he activated his Tianji divine eyes. Go to hell! No, stop him! Seeing Lin Xian's actions, Yan Nantian screamed crazily. The left hand of the devil was too much of a threat to him. Therefore, he quickly fled. The other 5 sages were also furious when they saw this scene. Go to hell! 2 sages attacked and 3 sages protected Yan Nantian. In their opinion, such a lineup was enough. But they didn't expect Lin Xian to be so powerful. He had already become a sage and had the left hand of the devil. Even a second heaven stage sage would die here. Therefore, the 2 sages were sent flying before they could even get close to him. The other 3 sages were pierced. The last one to be pierced was Yan Nantian. This is impossible. Yan Nantian's eyes widened in disbelief. He felt his life draining away. He wanted to struggle, but he couldn't. He used the last of his strength and screamed crazily. He was the successor of the great emperor, the successor of the great emperor. He had the inheritance of a great emperor. He was destined to become a great emperor in the future. But now, before he could even become a true sage, was he going to die here? I can't accept this. Yan Nantian roared into the sky. However, he no longer had the Emperor Regeneration Talisman. Moreover, he couldn't escape now. So what if you're unwilling? All of this is your own doing, and you can't live. The enmity between us will disappear from now on. As Lin Xian's voice fell, the devil's left hand, the great destruction spear, and the great dragon sword spirit erupted with full power, killing the 3 sages. Yan Nantian's body was also torn apart, his soul destroyed. The blood mist that filled the sky was then completely wiped out. There was only a giant crack in the sky. It was a shocking sight. The 2 saints of Rosefinch Palace and the 16 half-saints were all stunned. What did they see? Yan Nantian had been insta-killed. What kind of power was this? What exactly did this brat experience? Why did his strength change so drastically? They could not understand. However, they were not worried. Young Master Yan was the successor of a great emperor and had the Emperor Regeneration Talisman. They should quickly escort him away. They soared into the sky and flew forward. But soon they were stunned. There was no more blood mist in the world, let alone the Emperor Regeneration Talisman. They waited for a long time, but there was no sign of it. An unbelievable thought came to their minds. Could it be that the Emperor Regeneration Talisman had been used up? As soon as this thought came to their minds, they gasped. The 16 half-saints were also dumbfounded. If the Emperor Regeneration Talisman was used up, Yan Nantian could not be revived? Yan Nantian had been completely killed. This was an earth-shattering event. It was bigger than anything else. Rosefinch Palace was probably going to riot, and the ancient path of the stars was going to be chaotic. Yan Nantian was the successor of a great emperor. He was very likely to become the new great emperor in the future. Rosefinch Palace had done so many things for Yan Nantian, and made enemies with so many people. But now, Yan Nantian was dead. Rosefinch Palace no longer had a trump card and a pillar of support. It could be imagined that the future would be a disastrous blow. Run, run quickly and spread the news. The 2 saints roared. Lin Xian was too dangerous. They had to go back and gather the most powerful saints to capture him as soon as possible. Yan Nantian was dead. They had to kill Lin Xian. Otherwise, Rosefinch Palace would not be able to sleep in peace in the future. You still want to leave? Stay here. Lin Xian used the left hand of the devil to kill 2 saints. As for the remaining half-saints, the 5 elemental laws on his body turned into 5 elemental divine swords and flew in all directions. They were all killed. Their bodies and souls were destroyed. No one escaped. The surroundings were terrifying and quiet. Who would have thought that such an earth-shattering battle had taken place here? Moreover, the successor of a great emperor had died here. After Lin Xian killed these people, he did not leave. Instead, he looked into the void. Do you think I can't find you if you hide there without moving? You're the one who tipped me off, right? His golden hand directly grabbed a figure. That figure knelt on the ground and kowtowed non-stop. Spare me, I've been possessed. Spare my life. Spare you? You've seen everything. That's impossible. In your next life, don't be my enemy again. With that, he killed the other party with a single blow. Lin Xian turned around. His eyes flickered. He wanted to find Yan Nantian's relics. Yan Nantian was the successor of a great emperor. He must have left something behind after death, especially the great emperor's legacy. This tempted him. At the same time, in Rosefinch Palace, the palace lord and a group of elders were discussing. Calculating the time, there should be news from the Void Ocean. Yes, it should be out soon. What kind of harvest would they have this time? Yan Nantian should have gained the most. He would probably go into seclusion again. He would be able to become a saint. Yes, after becoming a saint, Yan Nantian's strength would be even more terrifying. An ordinary First Heaven sage was no match for him. In a few hundred years, he would be invincible in the starry sky. When that time came, Rosefinch Palace would be the biggest winner. Yan Nantian was the successor of a great emperor. His worst achievement in the future would be becoming a great sage. He even had a high chance of becoming a new great emperor. In that case, Rosefinch Palace would be invincible in the world for tens of thousands of years. At this point, they became more and more excited. It was as if they could see the scene of them dominating the universe in the future. However, at this moment, a few elders screamed crazily. Palace Lord, this is bad. Yan Nantian's soul tablet is broken. What? As soon as this was said, the palace lord in the main hall stood up abruptly. The surrounding elders were also stunned. What did you say? Yan Nantian's soul tablet is broken? How is that possible? Did you see wrongly? Chapter 3406. They couldn't believe it. A soul tablet was made by fusing a sliver of a person's soul with a special divine crystal. It was used to observe life and death. If the person in the distance was alive, the tablet would be safe and sound. If the person died, the tablet would also be destroyed. It was used to observe whether the person was safe or not. Yan Nantian's soul tablet was guarded by people who couldn't relax for even a moment. But now, what did they hear? Yan Nantian's soul tablet was destroyed. What was going on? Didn't this mean that Yan Nantian was dead? But how was that possible? In an instant, their hearts fell into a 10,000-year-old ice cave. Just a moment ago, they were still fantasizing about Yan Nantian becoming the great emperor and their vermilion bird palace ruling over the universe. But now, their greatest support was actually dead. They quickly took it to see what was going on. Could it be that something had happened to the Void Sea? Just at this moment, a few more people ran over and knelt on the ground, trembling. Palace Master, elders, this is bad. Many of the elders' soul tablets have been destroyed. A total of 5 sages and 16 half-sages were destroyed at the same time. What? The Vermilion Bird Palace Master and the elders all went crazy. Originally, they thought that Yan Nantian had encountered some danger in the Void Sea. Perhaps he had been killed by an ancient formation. But now it seemed that this wasn't the case. Their 5 sages and 16 half-sages soul tablets had all been destroyed at the same time as Yan Nantian. And these sages and half-sages were all on planet Suzaku. None of them had gone to the Void Sea. What did this mean? This meant that Yan Nantian had been killed on planet Suzaku. What was going on? They couldn't understand at all. But they could imagine that Yan Nantian had already left the Void Sea and fled to planet Suzaku. But he had still been killed by the enemy. Who had done it? A holy sovereign? A sage king? A great sage? They didn't know. But it was clear that the one who had done it was a strong enemy. Because their people hadn't even sent back any news. If even a sage couldn't send back any news, how terrifying would that person be? But they were also enraged. The Vermilion Bird Palace Master roared like a madman. Get it for me! At the same time, lock down planet Suzaku and mobilize all forces. No matter what, we must find the culprit. At this moment, the Vermilion Bird Palace was in an uproar. countless powerhouses swarmed out. More than half of planet Suzaku was shocked. The cultivators and families on planet Suzaku all trembled, because they had never seen such a riot in the Vermilion Bird Palace. This was practically an all-out attack. What were they trying to do? Where were they going to attack? Unify planet Suzaku? On the other side, Lin Xian stood in the void and frowned. He had already scanned his surroundings with his heavenly fortune god eyes, but he still could not find the succession of the martial monarch. Hey Shan, can you think of a way to find him? Lin Xian said in a deep voice. I'm already looking for it. I'll use the secret arts of the great sages. Black Mountain, search the area. Suddenly it unleashed a burst of demonic chi that shattered the void. Then, balls of light scattered down. It was a storage ring, and there was also a light shadow. The light shadow was very blurry. From afar, it was the 9 Emperor runes. However, at this moment, the 9 Emperor runes were connected. It was abnormally strange and terrifying. This should be the inheritance of the martial monarch, right? Lin Xian's eyes blazed with a fiery light. He reached out his hand and grabbed toward the front. In the blink of an eye, everything in front of him was sealed by him. However, his palm soon moved, and the sphere of light formed by the 9 great emperor marks smashed through his seal and escaped from his grasp. Where are you going? Lin Xian let out a roar. Terrifying 5 elemental laws rushed out of his body and destroyed the world. Dense sword chi flew out and cut off the 9 heavens, blocking the inheritance. However, the inheritance of the martial monarch was too terrifying. It shattered everything with one strike. Then it disappeared. Damn it! Lin Xian could not find it again. He Shan said, Stop chasing, kid! Even I might not be able to obtain the inheritance of the martial monarch at my peak, let alone you. This thing depends on luck. It's useless to use force. Was this an opportunity? Lin Xian's eyes flickered. Since He Shan said so, it would be useless for him to attack. Therefore, he did not attack, but narrowed his eyes. Kid, I have to say that I'm starting to see you in a different light. He Shan nodded. Lin Xian snorted. What's there to see? He Shan shook his head. You have to know that the one that escaped is the inheritance of the martial monarch. Who wouldn't be jealous of it? Even when I was alive, even great sages would be envious of me if they saw me. But you, from the looks of it, you don't seem too disappointed. It would be a lie to say that you're not disappointed. Lin Xian sighed. After all, the inheritance of the martial monarch was an existence that surpassed everything. The probability of becoming a martial monarch was very high. However, you said that even great sages can't get it. This kind of thing depends on luck. No matter how unwilling I am, it's useless. I might as well look on the bright side. Besides, I'm very confident in myself. I believe that one day, I'll reach the peak of the martial path and become a martial monarch. This is my belief, and also my goal in martial arts. So what if I don't have the inheritance of the martial monarchs? Come to think of it, martial monarch Hongwu didn't have the inheritance of the other martial monarchs back then, but he still became a martial monarch. Since others can do it, why can't I? He Shan did not say anything, but his heart was filled with astonishment. Not simple. An invincible heart. One had to know that this was very rare. This kid in front of him was indeed special. Perhaps he could really walk the path to the end. Someone was coming. Suddenly, He Shan transmitted his voice to remind Lin Xian instead of exclaiming. Lin Xian frowned too. He could also sense that many people were flying toward them from afar. Besides, their auras were extremely powerful. At the same time, a series of furious roars could be heard. Who was it? Who dared to kill Yan Nantian? I'm going to tear you into pieces. Lin Xian harumphed coldly. He did not stay there any longer and turned around to leave. His speed was extremely fast. When those people from afar arrived, they could no longer see him. However, after flying for a while, Lin Xian frowned. He realized that his surroundings seemed to have formed a tight encirclement. There were people from the Vermilion Bird Palace everywhere. It seemed like he could only force his way through. Lin Xian made his move. His sharp sword chi killed a few of the Vermilion Bird Palace's experts. He did not use the devil's left hand. After all, he still remembered that the Cloud Sky Saint had died under the devil's left hand. Therefore, this thing could not be used too many times. It was better to keep it as a trump card. Even if he did not use the devil's left hand, it would be easy for him to kill these people. After breaking through the defensive line, he quickly flew away. However, the people around him roared in anger. Someone killed our people. It must be the murderer. Right at this moment, an extremely terrifying aura slammed over from all directions. Not good. It's a small saint. Kid, leave quickly. You can't stop it now. He Shan's voice was urgent. Chapter 3407. A minor saint was in existence at the sixth heavenly layer of the Sage Realm. It was extremely terrifying. Even Lin Xian couldn't resist it now. So when he heard that, he immediately took out the teleportation array. In an instant, he was teleported out. However, that frightening hand had also swatted over. Accompanying it was an endless sea of lightning that completely covered the entire sky. This was no longer a simple palm. It was extremely terrifying. Even though Lin Xian was teleported, he was still forced out. However, the distance was still very far. With Lin Xian's current strength, he could still withstand it. With a roar, the 5 elemental law wrapped around him, and he quickly fled into the distance. He seemed to have turned into an ancient Kunping. His speed was extremely fast. That guy actually escaped. How was that possible? The surrounding people of Vermilion Bird Palace were all stunned. The one who attacked was their Grand Elder. That was a minor saint. How could such a terrifying existence let the other party escape? Who was that person? The aura of a dragon, Lin Woody? At this moment, an old figure appeared in the sky. He was too old. His entire body was withered, but his eyes carried an extremely terrifying aura. He was a minor saint of Vermilion Bird Palace, and also a Grand Elder. He came immediately after he received the news. When the surrounding people heard that, they were extremely shocked. Oh God, it was Lin Woody! Impossible! They were going crazy. When did Lin Woody become so powerful? However, they didn't have time to think about it anymore. They all looked at the minor saint. The minor saint snorted. Don't worry. No matter how powerful he is, he won't be able to escape from me. That's true. The surrounding people of Vermilion Bird Palace heaved a sigh of relief. Their Grand Elder was a minor saint. The existence of the sixth heavenly layer of the Sage Realm was extremely terrifying. No matter how powerful Lin Woody was, he should have just broken through to the Sage Realm. Such a person was like an ant in front of a minor saint. He couldn't even withstand a single blow. The other party ran away from the attack just now. It should be because of luck. The next attack would definitely kill him. Buzz. The minor saint's figure flickered and quickly rushed out. Around him, there were 81 sea of lightning. It made him look like an ancient thunder god. At this moment, he mercilessly attacked again. As soon as the saint domain appeared, the entire world seemed to turn into a sea of lightning. Lin Xian's body also trembled, a deep sense of shock appearing in his eyes. Was this the power of a minor saint? It was too terrifying. He had already run so far, but he still couldn't escape the other party's attack. What to do? Lin Xian was extremely anxious. The current him was no match for a minor saint. Can you escape? He was just an ant. Since you dared to kill Yan Nantian, you should obediently become our prisoner. Don't worry, we won't kill you either. But from today onwards, you'll be a slave of our Vermilion Bird Palace. Everything you have belongs to Vermilion Bird Palace. I will make you wish you were dead. I'll let you know the whereabouts of those who dared to offend us. At this moment, a cold voice sounded, causing Lin Xian's scalp to go numb. Lin Xian turned around and saw an abnormally withered, zombie-like figure walking over. The other party's aura was simply too powerful. The lightning around his body carried a piercing red glow, reminiscent of fresh blood. Was this a minor saint? Humph, an old fart dares to be arrogant in front of me? If we were at the same level, I would kill you like slaughtering a dog, Lin Xian said coldly. The minor saint snorted. Young man, this is the real world. There is no such thing as the same level. I've lived longer than you. That's my capital. So, no matter what you say, you won't be able to escape. Hee, is being stronger than me a capital? Old fart, if you hide in a place and secretly spend the rest of your life, you might be able to enjoy your old age. But you don't know what's good for you and came to provoke me. Fine, I'll let you experience what it means to be strong. Lin Xian's eyes burst out with a crazy light when he said this. The next moment, the great Saint Dharma idol was taken out again. The great Saint Dharma idol. Although it was a dead great saint, its aura was simply too terrifying. As soon as it appeared, even the zombie-like minor saint's expression changed. Extremely terrifying lightning burst out from his eyes. That was the great Saint Dharma idol. You actually have such a thing? That was really surprising. A hint of fiery greed appeared in his eyes. Originally, I wanted to capture you and ask you about the whereabouts of the great emperor's inheritance. But before I could say anything, you gave me another big gift. Well, I want this great Saint Dharma idol and Yan Nanshan's inheritance. You're still so greedy even now. Do you think you can live to take it? Lin Xian snorted and pushed the great Saint Dharma idol with all his strength. He summoned the righteous chi of heaven and earth to mobilize the Dharma idol. The great Saint Dharma idol trembled slightly, and the righteous chi on its body erupted. Bright moon above the sea! Lin Xian relied on the righteous chi and the power of the great Saint Dharma idol to summon a vision of heaven and earth. The endless sea drowned the lightning, and a bright moon rose from the sea, shattering all the lightning. You're courting death! The minor saint roared. Monstrous killing intent pierced through the clouds, and a terrifying aura spread out in all directions. So what if the other party had the great Saint Dharma idol? Although he was not as strong as a great saint, that was only when compared to a real great saint. His opponent was just a Dharma idol, a first heavenly layer cultivator. He could not withstand a single blow. It was easy for him to kill him. The terrifying lightning turned into countless lightning hands, sweeping in all directions and fighting against the bright moon above the sea. In the end, the bright moon above the sea was shattered. However, his face was gloomy. He found that the other party had escaped and disappeared without a trace. He could not see his opponent's aura? How was that possible? A first heavenly layer saint was like an ant in front of him. But now, the ant had disappeared into thin air? Just now, it only took him an instant to shatter the bright moon above the sea. No matter how fast the other party was, where could he escape to? Lightning appearance. The minor saint opened his lightning saint domain and shattered all the worlds that he could cover. The monstrous black hole was incomparably dark, as if the whole sky had sunk. However, there was still no sign of a person. This scene made the minor saint's face even gloomier. His eyes were like golden suns, looking in all directions. Souls also appeared in an overwhelming manner. At this moment, he was really angry. He used all his strength, but still found nothing. Ah! He roared at the sky. The people around him all gathered around. The Grand Elder. Their faces were full of shock. They did not see Lin Wudi's figure. They only saw an angry Grand Elder roaring at the sky. Could it be that the Grand Elder did not succeed? Thinking of this, their scalps were about to explode. Chapter 3408. From now on, lock down the entire stellar realm. He won't be able to escape if we track him down with all our might. The little saint said coldly. Yes, we'll do it now. The Vermilion Bird Palace's experts quickly took action. How could they not be angry? Yan Nantian was dead. Their pillar of support was gone? However, they had to keep the great emperor's inheritance. This way, they still had a glimmer of hope. For a time, the Vermilion Bird Palace's actions became even faster. On the other side, Lin Xian appeared in the void. His face was a little pale. Just now, He relied on the great Saint Dharma idol to take a blow head-on, and then used a secret technique to escape. Although he had temporarily escaped the pursuit of the little saint, his face didn't look too good. Even the little saint had attacked. He didn't know what other tricks the Vermilion Bird Palace had waiting for him. It seemed that he had to return to the Langia Star to lie low. He wanted to leave, but he found that there was an inescapable net around him. Countless people were patrolling and formations were flashing. Moreover, every Vermilion Bird Palace member had a voice transmission token on them. Even if they were killed instantly, the voice transmission token could still send a message. Lin Xian had no choice but to force his way through. He killed thousands of Vermilion Bird Palace's experts in a row and was about to break out. However, another little saint came again, forcing him to change his direction again. Lin Xian originally hid deep in the mountains and forests. He didn't know what kind of deal the Vermilion Bird Palace people had made with the monsters in the mountains. Those monsters had also started to help search. He had no choice but to leave the mountains and prepare to go to the city. There were many people in the city, and people's minds were very complicated. He should be able to fool them for a while. Just like that, Lin Xian came to a huge city called the City of Raging Fire. This was a city very far away from the Vermilion Bird Palace. It was temporarily safe here. However, not long after Lin Xian entered, the entire city was locked down. Countless Vermilion Bird Palace martial artists formed many teams and came over. There were even 4 ancient mirrors hanging on the 4 sides of the city gate. It was said that these were demon-revealing mirrors that could create a person's body. In this way, it was impossible to disguise oneself. What in the world happened? The martial artists in the city were all stunned. What was the Vermilion Bird Palace looking for? Could it be that something big had happened? At this moment, the news of Yan Nanshan's death had yet to spread. Furthermore, the Vermilion Bird Palace had forcefully suppressed it. There was nothing they could do about it. If news of this spread out, it would definitely cause a huge uproar. At that time, they would not be able to do anything. It was likely that the experts of other worlds, as well as the family forces, would come to attack them. Therefore, it was best to hide as much as possible. The people of Vermilion Bird Palace wouldn't say anything either. They just said that they were capturing Lin Wudi. Anyone who reported the news would be rewarded handsomely. After hearing this, the people in the city gasped. Chase after Lin Wudi. Heavens, is Vermilion Bird Palace really going to use such ruthless methods to get rid of this peerless genius? Was he paving the way for Yan Nantian? Lin Xian sneered as he blended into the crowd. Since the city was sealed, they would stay in the city for the time being. Just like that, Lin Xian found an inn and stayed for the time being. He was very low-key. After entering the inn, he set up a formation and then silently cultivated to deal with the battle that could happen at any time. At the same time, in Raging Fire City, there was another majestic mansion that was completely different. There was no nervousness at all here. On the contrary, it was full of joy. Even the surroundings were decorated with lanterns and banners and hung with the word, "She." It seemed that something good was about to happen in this mansion. The people in the surrounding city couldn't go out, so they could only go to this mansion to congratulate it. They knew that the owner of this mansion was a very powerful family. In this family, there was a genius who had entered Vermilion Bird Palace to cultivate. It could be said that this was the family of the genius of Vermilion Bird Palace. Therefore, even if the people of Vermilion Bird Palace were on high alert, this family would not be affected at all. At this moment, that genius' younger brother was about to marry a new bride. That bride's background was not simple either. However, compared to Vermilion Bird Palace, her background was much worse. Moreover, it was said that the wedding this time was carried out using tyrannical methods. Because the bride was not willing at all. But in front of Vermilion Bird Palace's background, who dared to be unwilling? Thus, the bride's family did not dare to resist at all. However, something happened yesterday. That bride actually ran away from the wedding. She used some sort of secret technique to directly escape. At the Breeze Tavern. This was a very unremarkable tavern in a corner of the city. Generally, people with strength and status would not stay here. At this moment, Another figure appeared in front of the tavern. It was a person wearing a black robe. He was very low-key. After he entered, he asked for a room. "Dear guest, you've come at the right time. This is the last room. Raging Fire City has already been sealed. Apart from the last room, it was impossible to find another room." "Enough nonsense, quickly bring me there." "Good, good." The waiter did not expect this person to have such a bad temper. However, the money that this person paid was enough to make him beam with joy. Thus, he did not mind at all. After bringing this person in, the waiter left. After entering, the person set up several seals. This room did not appear to be abnormal. However, in the room next to it, a figure opened his eyes. This figure was Lin Xian. He also stayed in this crazy tavern. At this moment, his eyes were flickering. He could naturally hear the sound of the formation seal in the next room just now. However, he shook his head and did not pay attention to it. Which martial artist did not set up a set of formation during cultivation in case of emergencies? Therefore, he did not think much about it. Half a day later, the entire crazy tavern was surrounded by people. He was surrounded by countless experts. Standing at the front was a man wearing a bright red robe. His face was cold. Beside him, there were countless experts. "Young master, Raging Fire City has been sealed. No one can leave. That woman must be hiding in the city. We have searched all the places except for this tavern. He must be inside. Damn bitch, how dare she escape? Search for her. Catch her and see how I'll play her to death." The young master in red robe shouted coldly. Immediately, a large number of experts moved out. One of them directly grabbed the waiter and asked coldly, "Recently, did anyone come over? Especially women." The waiter was so scared that his whole body trembled, and he pissed his pants. There was no woman. However, a black-robed man came today. His attitude was very bad. "I don't know if he's the person you're looking for. Where is she? Lead the way." There was no other way. He could only lead the way. The entire tavern was surrounded by countless experts. The people in the tavern were all awakened. They were originally not very strong and had no status. For a moment, being surrounded by so many experts, they were so scared that they pissed their pants. They did not dare to resist at all. Lin Xian opened his eyes and frowned. Could it be that the Vermilion Bird Palace had come? Chapter 3409. That shouldn't be the case. He had hidden himself very carefully. The people of the Vermilion Bird Palace couldn't have such means. Moreover, most of the people who came were half-saints. There were also many people who were close to the Tao. Such a lineup wanted to capture him? What a joke. The people of the Vermilion Bird Palace wouldn't be so stupid. Even if they really found him, they would immediately inform the saints, or even small saints, to come and capture him. Therefore, these people weren't here for him. Could it be that there were other people in this and who had offended some faction? Lin Xian frowned. The situation wasn't good. Buzz! Suddenly, Lin Xian was stunned. He felt that something was attacking his array formation. Immediately after, a figure rushed over. He was shocked. Could it be that those people outside were an illusion, and the real powerhouse had quietly come to capture him? One had to know that the array formation he had set up was very sturdy, but this person could break it in an instant. Was it a small saint? He instantly became aggressive, and the killing intent in his heart was about to erupt. But then, he was stunned. He felt that the aura was somewhat familiar. It was the aura of the person who had just stayed next to him. After that person woke up, he said, "Friend, let me borrow your place. Don't worry, I will avenge you." As he said that, he took out a storage ring. There were 500 kilograms of immortal state in it. It was enough for you. As long as you don't speak, I guarantee that you will be safe. Although the voice was low and hoarse, Lin Xian's soul was very sharp. He immediately realized that it was a woman. Could it be that those people outside were here to capture her? It seemed that he was right. He guessed correctly. They weren't here for him. However, there were many people being hunted down every day. Lin Xian didn't plan to do anything. Besides, he couldn't expose himself at all. He just nodded and didn't say anything. The woman wanted to leave quickly through the window, but in the next moment, she screamed. Then, countless powerful auras descended from the surroundings. The entire inn was torn down and split into pieces. On Lin Xian's side, many large cracks appeared on the house. Lin Xian immediately removed the array formation. The array formation was too exquisite. If those people discovered it, they would be suspicious. Therefore, he put it away. As for the woman, she let out a shriek. Damn it, their speed was actually so fast. Ha ha ha, bitch, why don't you run? Below, the red-clothed young master sneered coldly. You won't be able to escape from me. The black-robed woman turned her head around. Although his face couldn't be seen clearly, his voice carried a trace of exasperation. Don't be so smug. If it wasn't for the fact that Raging Fire City was suddenly sealed and so many Vermilion Bird Palace experts came, I would have escaped long ago. How could he have been caught by you? To be honest, she was really mad because she didn't know why the Raging Fire City was sealed and no one was allowed to leave. Could it be that they were trying to catch her? However, when she was sealed, she had no intention of escaping. If this mysterious woman knew that the culprit who was sealed by the Castle of Raging Fire was right next to her, what would she do? You bitch, marrying you is your good fortune. Furthermore, my brother is a genius of the Vermilion Bird Palace. Marrying me is a blessing of 3 lifetimes. What are you unhappy about? How dare you run away? If I catch you, I'll play you to death. The mysterious woman snorted coldly. You trash, you only know how to rely on your own family. What else do you have? Don't you have enough women who have been played by you? I won't marry you. You'd better give up on that thought. Won't marry me? It's not up to you now. Someone catch her. A few experts in the surroundings walked up with cold smiles. Strong auras sealed the space. The black-robed woman's body trembled. She took 2 steps back and arrived near Lin Xian. At this moment, the surrounding experts also saw Lin Xian and immediately frowned. Kid, who are you? Are you an accomplice? Because Lin Xian was also wearing a black robe, he was naturally considered an accomplice. Lin Xian frowned slightly. However, before he could say anything, the black-robed woman beside him spoke. He's not my accomplice. He just lives next door. So he doesn't know anything. Let him go. Let him go. Dream on. The red-robed young master sneered. He lives next door, but he didn't report it and hid the news. That's a capital offense in front of me. And judging by his cultivation, he's just an ant. I'll kill him together. The red-robed young master didn't seem to care about human lives at all. Don't worry, young master. I can kill an ant in an instant. The 4 experts blocked Lin Xian and smiled coldly. Kid, you can only blame yourself for being unlucky. Next time, when you're reincarnated, be careful and don't go against our young master. One of them emitted a strong aura. He was a half-sage. This aura made the black-robed woman tremble even more. She came to Lin Xian's side and said softly, I'm sorry for dragging you into this. I'll attack you with all my might. If you have a chance to escape, do so. I'm really sorry. She apologized again. At this moment, the half-sage's palm in the sky had already slapped down with terrifying flames. The black-robed woman had no choice but to take it head-on. She also slapped out a large black palm, but she was forced back in an instant and spat out a mouthful of blood. The large flaming hand descended from the sky and enveloped both her and Lin Xian. It's over! The black-robed woman looked desperate. She thought she could escape this time, but she fell into the hands of the enemy again. She could imagine that her life would be worse than death from now on. In that case, she might as well commit suicide. She wanted to kill herself, but at this moment, a hand landed on her shoulder, preventing her from doing so. As for his other hand, he gently pointed to the front with his finger. Boom! The large flaming hand descended with an unparalleled aura. The surrounding people sneered. Nothing unexpected would happen when a half-sage attacked. However, the half-sage who attacked screamed. His large, flaming hand was injured and was covered with cracks like a mirror. Then, it broke open with a loud bang. Blood splattered and dyed the void red. Ah! The miserable scream made people's scalps tingle. The surrounding people's minds went blank. What happened? Their half-sage was injured. How could it be? Could it be that the woman had such means? The black-robed woman was stunned. She didn't expect that someone would help her when she was in despair. Moreover, he broke the half-sage's attack with one blow. And this person was actually the person beside her. Could it be that this person was an expert? She was too shocked. She looked at Lin Xian with a face full of surprise. Lin Xian looked calm and there was not a trace of emotion in his eyes. Chapter 34:10. Damn it, what are you doing? Catch him! The man in red roared madly behind them. The other three experts also looked at the injured half-saint. What's going on? They didn't see what happened at all. The injured powerhouse looked unusually cold. Did that damned woman become stronger all of a sudden? Or did she have a Dharma treasure? From beginning to end, he had not noticed Lin Xian at all. Because as far as he was concerned, Lin Xian was merely an ant. After Lin Xian attacked, he sighed in his heart. He knew that this matter wouldn't end well. These people definitely wouldn't stop, so it was only a matter of time before he was exposed. He said to the woman in black next to him, "You don't have to apologize to me because you didn't implicate me. On the contrary, I implicated you. You have a chance to escape later." The woman in black was stunned. "What does he mean? She said that to him before. Is he also being hunted and his enemy is more powerful than the family of the man in red?" She really couldn't understand. Suddenly, she was stunned. Could it be that the city of raging fire was sealed because of this person? She was completely stunned at the thought of this. At this moment, the injured half-saint in front of them attacked again. Not only him, but the other half-saint also attacked. They did it just in case. Two giant palms with tremendous seals loomed over Qi Nan. The woman in black was still stunned and didn't come back to her senses. Lin Xian waved his hand and a sharp sword she slashed in all directions, immediately cutting off the arms of the two half-saints. When the miserable screams were heard, everyone finally saw it clearly. It wasn't the woman in black who attacked, but the young man next to her. "How is this possible?" they screamed crazily. "Isn't he an ant? How can he be so powerful? Why did he attack?" Lin Xian didn't intend to hold back. He waved his sword Qi again and killed the two injured half-saints. The other two half-saints were scared out of their wits. "Who is he?" They frantically retreated, but in an instant, their glabella split open and they were instantly killed. Even before they died, they couldn't figure out who they had offended. The four experts fell to the ground in the blink of an eye. Behind him, the red-robed man and his clan members were all shocked, and unconsciously took a step back. The red-robed man felt his scalp go numb. Who was the other party? 4 experts had been killed instantly. Damn it, who exactly were you? Lin Xian ignored the man and looked up at the sky. It was time to leave. Although the black-robed woman didn't know who Lin Xian was, she still said, "Here are 3 void formation abodes. Take them. You might be able to save your life." With that, she handed everything over to Lin Xian. Lin Xian was startled. He wanted to return it, but the red-robed young master suddenly roared. "Let me tell you, my family is very powerful. My brother is a genius of Vermilion Bird Palace. He's in Roaring Flame City right now. Kneel down obediently, kowtow to me, and admit your mistake. Otherwise, I'll tear you to pieces." "Noisy!" Lin Xian waved his hand, forming 2 storms that slashed forward. "Young master, be careful." The 2 elders beside him roared and hurriedly attacked. However, they were split in half in an instant. In the end, the red-clothed young master was pulled away by someone to avoid this terrifying wind blade. A pitch-black crack appeared where he had been standing. It couldn't be healed at all. The red-robed man trembled. His lower body was soaked. He had wet his pants from fear. What kind of person was this? He was too strong. Hurry, get my brother here. Let my brother kill him. He couldn't resist at all. Perhaps only the experts of Vermilion Bird Palace could take him down. The people beside him said, "Young master, don't worry. We've already informed the young master." Sure enough, as soon as that voice was heard, a group of people quickly rushed over from afar. The auras of these people were incomparably powerful. The person in the lead was a man. They were all from Vermilion Bird Palace. The red-robed man's sword arrived. The mighty leader immediately exclaimed, "Brother, I'm here. Someone wants to kill me. Hurry up and help me kill him. Who dares to attack my brother?" The leader of the group, the genius man, shouted coldly. His voice was like thunder. In the next moment, when he saw Lin Xian, he frowned. Then, he seemed to have thought of something and turned to run. The surrounding people were stunned. Ran away? Their young master, the genius of Vermilion Bird Palace, actually ran away? What the hell is going on? The red-robed young master was also stunned. "Brother, why are you leaving? Hurry up and kill this kid." Before he could finish, he saw Lin Xian wave his hand. A sword chi enveloped the 9 heavens and 10 lands. The Vermilion Bird Palace team was enveloped in it. Then miserable screams sounded. Those people were cut into pieces. His brother, who he was proud of, also had his head chopped off. What? Seeing this scene, the surrounding people were all dumbfounded. The Vermilion Bird Palace team was instantly killed by the other party. Who was this person? Was he a saint? At that moment, they all retreated. The red-robed man also screamed. "Impossible! My brother is a genius." Although he was a half-saint, he was also very powerful. In his heart, he was simply a godlike existence. Their family could flaunt their prowess because of his brother. But now, his brother had been killed in an instant. "Damn it, Lin Woody, you really are here." In the distance, more powerhouses rushed over, roaring crazily. The others went crazy. Lin Woody, the person in front of them was actually Lin Woody. The woman in black's heart trembled. It was indeed him. She looked at the figure in front of her. She had long guessed that the other party was very likely the one who caused Blaze City to be sealed. Vermilion Bird Palace was chasing after Lin Woody. Now it seemed that it was indeed him. In front, the red-robed young master knelt on the ground with a plop. Lin Woody, he actually dared to attack Lin Woody. He really did not know what was good for him. When Lin Xian saw this scene, he sneered. Golden light shot into the sky from his body, and his terrifying divine body suppressed in all directions. Since he had been recognized, then he did not intend to hide anymore. With a wave of his hand, sword chi flew out, cleaving the red-robed young master in half. The surrounding red-robed family members were all split apart. Only the woman in black could survive. Buzz! Lin Xian stomped his foot and charged into the sky. The sealed array formation was shattered by his punch. Then, Lin Xian left Blaze City and flew into the distance. "Lin Woody, you can't escape!" In the distance, the Vermilion Bird Palace martial artists chased after him like crazy. In the ruins below, the woman in black looked at the person above in shock. This was the peerless powerhouse Lin Woody? He was indeed too strong. These families that she could not defeat in her eyes were reduced to ashes in the blink of an eye in the other party's hands. This was a true peerless powerhouse. Chapter 34:11. The warriors in the surrounding ruins and the city trembled when they saw this scene. It was their fortune to be able to see Lin Woody in action. This was enough for them to brag about for the rest of their lives. Lin Xian didn't stop after leaving Blazing Flame City. He knew that the Vermilion Bird Palace experts were rushing over. As expected, the 6 saints of the Vermilion Bird Palace worked together to set up the 6-pointed Vermilion Bird formation. It covered the entire area and sealed Lin Xian within it. This formation was extremely terrifying. It was an ancient formation passed down from the Vermilion Bird Palace. At this moment, It was used to seal everything. No matter how strong Lin Xian was, he couldn't break it. Ha 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 ha, kid, let's see how you escape. The 6 saints laughed at the sky. In the distance, more Vermilion Bird Palace experts arrived and surrounded them. They laughed. The 6-pointed Vermilion Bird formation was definitely not something a first Heaven Saint could break. Even a second Heaven Saint couldn't break it. Although they couldn't kill him, they just needed to trap him for a period of time. When their minor saints arrived, they could destroy him. Within the formation, the Vermilion Bird phantoms circled around, bringing with them a powerful firestorm. Lin Xian attacked a few times and frowned. The formation was very strong and endless. It would be difficult to break it in a short time. Should he use the left hand of the devil? Lin Xian's eyes flashed. There was another way, and that was to ask He Shan. He Shan said, "Didn't the woman in black give you 3 formation talismans? You can try." 3 formation talismans? Lin Xian was stunned. To be honest, he didn't take it to heart. What did He Shan mean? Forget it, let's give it a try. He immediately took out a formation talisman and poured power into it. The arrayed talisman instantly stuck to his body. In the next instant, Lin Xian felt a mysterious force carrying him toward the vanguard. In an instant, he rushed out of the 6-pointed Vermilion Bird formation. What was going on? Lin Xian was stunned. He flew quickly without stopping. The laughter of the Vermilion Bird Palace people stopped abruptly. Their minds went blank as they watched this scene. The other party suddenly left? What was going on? The 6-pointed Vermilion Bird formation wasn't broken? Damn it, chase after him. They didn't know what had happened, but they could only give chase. Lin Xian was incomparably shocked. This talisman was too useful. It could actually allow one to escape from such a terrifying array in an instant. But soon he frowned. Something wasn't right. The talisman was so powerful, so why didn't that mysterious woman run away? Brat, you don't understand, do you? Who are you? You're a fiend. Even the saints of the Vermilion Bird Palace are like ants in your hands. But that woman was different. She couldn't even defeat a half-sage. Even if he could use the arrayed talisman to escape, it would definitely attract the attention of others. She might even attract the attention of the Vermilion Bird Palace. At that time, what awaits her would be an endless pursuit. So do you think she dares? That's true. Lin Xian nodded, but when he thought about it, he felt relieved. From the looks of it, this should be his reward for saving the other party. Indeed, if he hadn't made a move at that time, this black-clothed woman would have been dead for sure. He had made a move, and out of gratitude, the black-clothed woman had given him 3 escape items. Kindness really did beget kindness. Thinking of this, Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. He still had 2 arrayed talismans in his hand. In other words, he could still escape the pursuit of the super array 2 more times. Next, Lin Xian used another arrayed talisman to escape the fatal blow. But gradually, he stopped using it because there were saints all around him. He was forced to go in one direction. The more he flew, the more familiar he became. This was the Valley of Devil Cultivation. He didn't hesitate and directly rushed into the valley. Behind him, the people of the Vermilion Bird Palace stopped. They densely surrounded the Valley of Devil Cultivation, but no one dared to go in. Their faces became a little ugly. Damn it, how dare that guy go in? He had just returned from the Void Ocean, so he probably didn't know what happened here. What should they do? Should they go in and capture him? What a joke. The experts of the Vermilion Bird Palace felt their scalps go numb. They didn't dare to go in. There was no other way. They could only wait here. Not long after, 2 powerful figures descended. They were 2 supreme elders. They were like mummies, but their auras were unparalleled. They were 2 minor saints. After they arrived, they frowned. Could it be that the kid had entered the Valley of Devil Cultivation? Reporting to the Supreme Elders, that kid has indeed entered the Valley of Devil Cultivation. The surrounding martial artists quickly responded. After the 2 Supreme Elders heard this, their faces turned cold. That damned guy really didn't know what was good for him. They didn't dare to go in rashly. Logically speaking, this scene was really strange. The Valley of Devil Cultivation used to be the training ground of the Vermilion Bird Palace. Lin Xian and some other geniuses had entered the Valley of Devil Cultivation before. But now, these saints didn't dare to enter? One had to know that Lin Xian and the others were only half-saints at that time, and they could enter. In fact, something had happened in the Valley of Devil Cultivation. Some time ago, there was a sudden change in the Valley of Devil Cultivation. The people of the Vermilion Bird Palace entered, but there was no follow-up. They had no choice. In the end, they sent a saint, but the saint disappeared. In the end, they could only ask a Supreme Elder, who was also a minor saint, to come. Before he even stepped into the Valley of Devil Cultivation, he was split in half by an aura. This scared the minor saint so much that he immediately ran back. Even now, his injuries hadn't healed yet. This scene caused an uproar in the Vermilion Bird Palace. The palace master of the Vermilion Bird Palace quickly looked through the ancient records and found a clue. It turned out that in the legends of the Vermilion Bird Palace, the Valley of Devil Cultivation was a terrifying place of death. No one dared to enter the Valley of Devil Cultivation. But for some reason, that place suddenly became less dangerous in the past few thousand years. So many people went in. Gradually, that legend disappeared. But now, the minor saint was instantly injured. This made the people of the Vermilion Bird Palace realize that the legend still existed. For some reason, the Valley of Devil Cultivation had become a forbidden place of death. No one could enter. That was why the people of the Vermilion Bird Palace were loitering outside. Even the two minor saints didn't dare to enter. This was because they had also looked through the ancient records. The terrifying existence that was sealed in the legends was very likely a Saint King. A Saint King was a very powerful existence. It was much stronger than minor saints like them. A single glance from a Saint King could probably kill them. That was why even if they had 10,000 guts, they wouldn't dare to enter. But they were unwilling because the other party had countless secrets. There were 2 great inheritances and the Great Destruction Spear. More importantly, the other party had killed Yen Nantian. But they didn't find anything left behind by Yen Nantian. Yen Nantian was the successor of the Great Emperor. After his death, his storage ring and the Great Emperor's inheritance should have fallen. But they didn't find anything. Didn't this mean that the Great Emperor's inheritance had been taken away by the other party? Chapter 34:12. Thinking of this, their eyes turned red. Damn it! That brat will definitely die if he goes in. He might come out immediately. That's why you guys are guarding here. They were waiting here. However, after 10 days, they frowned. No one came out from below. The Valley of Devil Cultivation was still eerily quiet. Could it be that the brat is dead? The 2 minor saints had ordered them to send people to guard all the exits of the Valley of Devil Cultivators. If he comes out from below, report it immediately. Even if he is dead, it doesn't matter. After all, he will die in the Valley of Devil Cultivation. The item is in the Valley of Devil Cultivation. We will go back and study it carefully. After saying this, the 2 minor saints went back. The surrounding people formed an inescapable net and surrounded the valley from afar, to prevent anyone from coming out. Next, the people of Vermilion Bird Palace stood in 4 directions and monitored the Valley of Devil Cultivation, to prevent the brat from escaping. In the Valley of Devil Cultivation, Lin Xian didn't stay after landing. He was going to find a place to hide. He thought of the devil pool last time. He felt that he could use it again. However, he soon frowned. What's going on? No one is chasing after me? He looked around and used his soul force. He found that all the people of Vermilion Bird Palace stopped outside the Valley of Devil Cultivation. What's going on? Could it be that the other party had given up? Lin Xian was shocked. But then, he thought that it shouldn't be. How could Vermilion Bird Palace give up chasing after him? Was there another reason? He couldn't figure it out. If they didn't give up, then there was only one possibility. They were afraid of this place. They didn't dare to cultivate in the Valley of Devil Cultivation. What's in the Valley of Devil Cultivation? He was even more shocked. It wasn't the first time he entered the Valley of Devil Cultivation. They could enter when they were half-step saints. Now, even Vermilion Bird Palace sent minor saints, but they didn't dare to enter? What a joke. However, at this time, the Black Mountain Great Sage said, "Brat, be careful. I feel that the aura here is unusual. It seems that there is something extraordinary here." Something extraordinary? Lin Xian was stunned. Could it be that something unexpected happened in the Valley of Devil Cultivation? Has it become a very dangerous place? And Vermilion Bird Palace had once suffered a loss here. Thinking of this possibility, Lin Xian gasped. It seemed that this was the only explanation. However, he was very curious. What exactly was the change? He didn't know, but now that the people of Vermilion Bird Palace didn't dare to come in, he could just recuperate here. Perhaps he could even cultivate here. At that moment, Lin Xian was near the Fiend Pool. He found a place to sit down cross-legged, turned his palms towards the sky, and began cultivating the laws. Originally, the Devil Cultivation Valley was already a bit dark, and at night, it was even more foggy. Even the moon couldn't be seen. Lin Xian opened his eyes amidst the eerie aura. He furrowed his brows tightly. This place was indeed unusual. There seemed to be some demonic shadows moving around him. Lin Xian snorted coldly and waved his hand, shattering the few black shadows that were approaching him. Those shadows kept rolling and twisting on the ground, letting out sharp screams. Countless shadows flickered, wanting to devour Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted and the 5 elemental laws turned into chains that wrapped around his body, suppressing everything. The surrounding shadows didn't dare to approach. He didn't expect that someone would dare to come in. At that moment, a faint voice sounded. Hearing this voice, Lin Xian felt a chill run down his spine. He instantly stood up and looked around. Who was it? Who was playing tricks here? Damn it, this Valley of Devil Cultivation had indeed changed. Such a gloomy voice, could it be the people of Vermilion Bird Palace? No, if it was the Vermilion Bird Palace, they would have already made a move. They wouldn't scare him like this. His face was gloomy, and his divine body emitted light like a sun. However, this Valley of Devil Cultivation was too strange. It could only illuminate a few meters around him. Beyond that, it couldn't illuminate anything. It was no wonder that he dared to come here. However, this little bit of cultivation was not enough to deal with him. Were they sent by the Vermilion Bird Palace? Were they still unwilling to give up? This voice was even colder than before. Moreover, Lin Xian couldn't tell where it was coming from. It seemed that this was an expert. Lin Xian took a deep breath. I was chased by the Vermilion Bird Palace and was forced to come here. I didn't know that Senior was resting here and disturbed you. I hope you can forgive me. Don't worry, Junior has already left and won't disturb you. With that, Lin Xian turned around and wanted to leave. You want to leave just like that? Just as Lin Xian turned around, a faint voice came from behind him. This time, Lin Xian heard it not far behind him. Thus, his body stiffened, and he turned around. A mysterious rune appeared in his eyes. In the next moment, he saw it. A person was leaning against a tree near the devil altar. She was a slender woman with long black hair that reached her waist. She had a beautiful face that carried a hint of seduction. She stretched out her slender hand and held a flower between her fingers. It was a white flower that was as white as jade. Compared to the surrounding black, it was extremely strange. Was this the person? Lin Xian was extremely surprised. Was this the mysterious expert? However, it didn't seem like it. It was an extremely beautiful and mysterious woman. Seeing that Lin Xian was in a daze, the mysterious woman in front of him turned around with a smile on her face. Was it beautiful? Buzz. Lin Xian quickly retracted his gaze. He felt his soul stirring. Wasn't this person too terrifying? Just her voice alone had almost caused his soul to sink. Fortunately, his willpower was strong, and he had the great dragon sword soul. Otherwise, if it were any other first heaven sage, their souls would have been scattered and their bodies and souls would have been destroyed. I was too abrupt. Lin Xian hurriedly retracted his gaze. He wasn't affected. The mysterious woman in front was even more curious. Her gaze had a demonic glint. She looked at him with great interest. Little kid, you look very young. You've reached the sage realm at such a young age. Moreover, it's rare to see such a strong soul. Tell me, what is your identity? Senior, you flatter me. With my cultivation level, I can't even withstand a single blow from you. Lin Xian smiled and shook his head. Was this person probing him? He wasn't stupid enough to say everything. Sigh, another dishonest fellow. Since that's the case, you can stay here and accompany me. Anyway, I'm quite bored here. The mysterious woman said faintly. Lin Xian quickly shook his head. I won't disturb you any longer. I still have things to do. Goodbye. With that, he rose into the air and flew into the distance. Chapter 34:13. Right now, he would rather face the Vermilion Bird Palace's sage than this mysterious woman. Seeing this scene, the mysterious woman didn't say anything. Instead, she gently swayed the white demonic flower in her hand. Those white petals danced in the air, turning into countless rays of light that flew towards Lin Xian. In an instant, it cut off his path. Lin Xian's movement technique was exceptional. He instantly changed his direction. However, no matter where he went, there was a white flower in front of him. Moreover, the aura of those white petals was too terrifying. His instincts told him that he couldn't take it head-on. Thus, Lin Xian could only follow the path that the mysterious woman had set for him and retreat step by step. He once again arrived near the Devil Pond. He sighed. Senior, I really didn't mean to disturb you. Please be magnanimous. Ha ha. After hearing this, the mysterious woman suddenly laughed. Her laughter was very beautiful. However, in Lin Xian's eyes, it made his hair stand on end. He asked, Senior, why are you laughing? The mysterious woman laughed. I'm laughing because you're stupid. How many times have you called me senior? Unfortunately, I'm the same age as you. What? The same age? Lin Xian was stunned. Could it be that you're also from the younger generation? How is that possible? She's so strange and her methods are so terrifying. How can she be from the younger generation? Seeing Lin Xian's astonished expression, the mysterious woman immediately laughed. Why? You don't believe me? Then do you think I'm very old? To tell you the truth, I might be a little older than you. However, we're definitely from the same generation. As for my strength, I might be stronger than you. Because my family's origin is very strong. Thus, I'm not a senior. I'm here to explore the Devil Cultivation Valley. However, there's a change in the Devil Cultivation Valley. Thus, after entering, I can't leave. Do you think that I can leave just because I didn't stop you just now? Why don't you try and see if you can walk out now? What's going on? I really can't leave the Devil Cultivation Valley? Lin Xian gave it a try. Suddenly, he felt that something was wrong. Indeed, there seemed to be an illusion formation around him. Moreover, it was very exquisite. He walked a few steps and almost got lost. If not for the white flower that brought him back, Lin Xian would not have been able to return to the Devil's Pool. So, do you believe me now? It was easy to enter the Devil Cultivation Valley, but difficult to leave. I've been trapped for a while now. Then what did you mean when you mentioned the Vermilion Bird Palace? Lin Xian asked again. The mysterious woman smiled. Well, when I came here, I also met people from the Vermilion Bird Palace. They seemed to be searching as well, and there was a bit of a conflict. However, all of the people from the Vermilion Bird Palace that entered were killed by the demonic shadows. It turned out to be like this. Lin Xian took a deep breath. If that was the case, it would be troublesome. This woman's strength was not weaker than his, but she was still unable to leave. In that case, wouldn't he be unable to leave as well? The woman smiled and said, No, I can't go out because I can't break the formation here. Because what I'm cultivating is somewhat similar to the demonic sect, the aura here is very similar. I'm also here to look for opportunities. You're different. Looking at your physique just now, it should be the type of extreme yang that counters demonic chi. You're the most suitable person to break the formation. As long as you break the formation, the two of us will be able to escape. Break the formation? Lin Xian's eyes flickered as he looked around. This formation was not simple. It would probably take a lot of time to break it. It seems that we won't be able to leave in a short time, the woman said. It won't take too long. Although I cultivate the demonic Tao, I'm not a cultivator. Although I'm cultivating the Devil Cultivation Valley, I've found a few flaws through my research. As long as you follow my method, I guarantee that we'll be able to leave within 3 days. Oh, what flaws! This formation is set up with heaven, earth, black, and yellow as the foundation. Therefore, there are 4 key points of the formation. As long as one of them is broken, the balance of the formation will be completely broken. Then, we'll be able to leave. As she spoke, she stretched out her slender fingers and pointed in the 4 directions. As she pointed, 4 rays of light lit up in the 4 directions. Use your physique to attack any one of them. As long as you can blast it away, we'll be able to leave. A peerless formation formed with heaven, earth, black, and yellow as the foundation? Lin Xian's eyes flickered. With his back facing the mysterious woman, he activated his heavenly secret divine eyes and looked at the 4 light spots. In the next moment, he was stunned. Under the heavenly secret divine eyes, he seemed to have seen through everything. There were 4 stone steels where the 4 light spots were. The 4 stone steels had the azure dragon, white tiger, vermilion bird, and black tortoise engraved on them. 4 divine beasts in heaven, earth, black, and yellow. This is not an ordinary formation. Lin Xian was shocked. What is this valley of devil cultivation hiding? It needs such a formation to suppress it. But at this moment, the mysterious woman spoke again. What are you hesitating for? Don't you want to leave? Fine, I'll give it a try. Lin Xian took a deep breath. He really did want to leave. His body shone brightly as he prepared to attack. But at this moment, he inadvertently saw a glimmer of hope in the mysterious woman's eyes. What kind of light was that? Although it was only for a moment, Lin Xian clearly captured it with his heavenly secret divine eyes. Something's not right. Lin Xian was shocked. That gaze is too strange. It doesn't look like she's been trapped for a few months. It's as if she's been trapped for thousands of years. At the same time, a ball of doubt rose in his heart. Is this woman really like me, a peerless genius from the outside world, trapped here? The other party's aura gave him a creepy feeling. Especially the great dragon sword soul in his body, it also looked as if it was facing a great enemy. This made him very surprised. When he faced a small saint, he didn't have such a reaction. Is there something wrong with this woman? Thinking of this, Lin Xian withdrew his hand and didn't attack. The mysterious woman behind him was also stunned. What's wrong? Did something happen? Oh, I was chased all the way by the Vermilion Bird Palace and consumed a lot of energy. Let me recover for a while. With that, Lin Xian found a place, sat down, and was about to cultivate. He wanted to see what was so strange about this mysterious woman. As soon as he sat down, the mysterious woman said, Cultivate? I have something that can help you recover. Why don't you use it? She threw out a black fruit. The fruit was pitch black and covered with patterns. It looked like a venomous snake crawling on it. Lin Xian was shocked. 10,000-year-old black serpent fruit. It was a very rare spirit fruit. Although it looked black and poisonous, there was no poison at all. Moreover, its recovery effect was surprisingly good, not to mention that it was a 10,000-year-old fruit. Who is this person? She just casually threw him a 10,000-year-old spirit fruit. Chapter 34:14. Lin Xian accepted it without hesitation and swallowed it. He wasn't afraid of being poisoned. The great dragon sword's soul could destroy any poison. Sure enough, it didn't take long for his strength to recover to its peak. Can we begin? The mysterious woman asked again. Lin Xian said, My strength has recovered, but I don't want to go out yet. Because the Vermilion Bird Palace must be guarding outside. If I go out, it'll be like a lamb entering a tiger's den. So I plan to stay here for a while and cultivate. When I'm strong enough, or when the Vermilion Bird Palace loses their patience, I'll leave. Kid, do you really want to stay here forever? The mysterious woman asked in a low voice. Don't worry, I can't stay here forever. After 8 to 10 years, the people outside the Vermilion Bird Palace will lose their patience. I'm going out, Lin Xian said with a smile. It's just the Vermilion Bird Palace. I don't care about it. Help me break the array, and I'll help you destroy the surrounding Vermilion Bird Palace people. Looks like you're in a hurry to go out. Lin Xian glanced at her and revealed a faint smile. The mysterious woman snorted. Why don't you want to go out? To be honest, I really don't want to go out now. Lin Xian shrugged and sat back down. Damn kid! The mysterious woman took a step forward, and her aura enveloped Lin Xian. Lin Xian shuddered. Why, do you want to force me? I don't want to do this either, but you're the one who forced me. As expected, Lin Xian sneered. The mysterious woman was stunned. Then she said, Did you see through me? If that's the case, then it doesn't matter. As long as I catch you, I have 100 ways to make you obediently break the array. She waved her hand and a ray of divine light shot into the sky and swept towards Lin Xian. It was like an immortal binding rope that wanted to bind Lin Xian. Lin Xian quickly retreated and threw out a 5-colored palm surrounded by laws. With a boom, the divine light collided with each other. However, his 5-colored palm was shattered. Lin Xian was shocked. His opponent was too terrifying. He quickly dodged. Useless brat, you're just an ant in front of me. You can't dodge at all. The mysterious woman revealed a cold smile. Lin Xian frowned. At this moment, Black Mountain said, Brat, it's useless. Use your trump card. She's not an ordinary person. She's a Saint King. Sage King. Lin Xian's pupils suddenly shrank to the size of needles. Previously, He Shan hadn't said anything. He thought that something had happened to He Shan. Who would have thought that Black Mountain would reveal the crux of the matter at this time? Sage King. The woman in front of them was actually a Sage King. That was an existence second only to the Great Sage. Although Black Mountain was also a great sage, he was only a remnant soul of a great sage. His true strength might not even be as strong as Lin Xian. However, this mysterious woman was different. From the looks of it, it should be a living Sage King. Thinking of this, Lin Xian felt like his scalp was about to explode. Damn it, there's actually a living Sage King in the Demon Cultivation Valley. No wonder the small saints of the Vermilion Bird Palace didn't dare to enter. This was definitely an existence that could kill everything in an instant. In the next moment, he was no longer careless. In front of a Sage King, there was no way for him to escape. With a cold shout, he took out the great Sage Dharma idol and blocked in front of him. Then, he channeled his energy into it. With a whoosh, the great Sage Dharma idol released an aura of righteousness and blocked the attack that was like a divine light. Buzz! The divine light was repelled, and the great Sage Dharma idol shook. Lin Xian's blood boiled, and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. He hurriedly suppressed it, and at the same time, he looked in front of him in shock. He blocked it. The mysterious woman in front of him also revealed a trace of surprise. She looked over with her beautiful eyes. A great Sage Dharma idol. You actually have such a thing. No wonder you can block it. She laughed. If it's a living great sage, I'm no match for it. However, a great Sage Dharma idol is nothing in my eyes. As expected of a Sage King, she indeed has the confidence to say such words. Lin Xian said coldly as he supported the great Sage Dharma idol with one hand. Oh, you know about my background? The mysterious woman was surprised, and then she smiled. When she smiled, It was as if the darkness around her had disappeared. Since you know, then cooperate obediently. That way, you'll suffer less. Don't joke around. Since there's a formation here to seal you, it means that you're an extremely terrifying demon. If I let you out, who knows what kind of chaos it'll be outside. Besides, once you get out, you might kill me. I won't do such a stupid thing. Also, according to my speculation, although the formation seal is powerful, it should be used to deal with you. My divine body is of the purest yang, so it's not impossible for me to get out. Kid, you guessed right. I am indeed a Sage King, and this array formation is also used to seal me. Those who entered the Vermilion Bird Palace before were all killed by me. If you want to leave, these formations won't stop you, but can you leave? Although you have the great Sage Dharma idol, it's very easy for me to capture you. As soon as she finished speaking, a terrifying light surged from her body, and the entire void shattered. Lin Xian's body sank, as if 100,000 mountains were pressing down on him. His legs couldn't help but tremble, and he wanted to kneel. Damn it! With a roar of rage, the great dragon sword soul within his body roared, forcefully resisting the urge to kneel and kowtow. At the same time, cold sweat dripped from his head. Was this the power of a Sage King? Just her aura alone was enough to make him unable to resist. You can actually resist the might of a Sage King. Interesting. But it's not enough. You're too inexperienced. At this point, the aura on her body became terrifying again. Lin Xian roared and slammed his palm on the great Sage Dharma idol. The great Sage Dharma idol shone brightly, and the righteous chi formed a seal that blasted in all directions, completely enveloping him. A mere Dharma idol was useless. The mysterious woman pointed with her finger, and endless laws turned into balls of divine chains that wrapped around the great sage's hair. Suddenly, the righteous chi of heaven and earth disappeared. Lin Xian felt the pressure suddenly increase. He was forced to retreat continuously from the attacks. He spat out a few mouthfuls of blood, and the cracks on his body were terrifying. At this moment, a strange white color appeared in the mysterious woman's eyes, like a white vortex. She looked at Lin Xian and said at the same time, "Illusion soul." Not good. When he saw the white pupils in her eyes, Lin Xian's expression changed. This was an illusion. It was a soul attack, and it was the soul attack of a Sage King. He definitely couldn't fall for it. But he was still too late. In an instant, he froze on the spot, and his soul seemed to be sucked into the white vortex. There was a voice in his mind, telling him to kneel, submit, and become a slave. Chapter 34:15. The scene was too bizarre. Lin Xian's body was drenched in cold sweat. He had used the eye technique before. When he activated the heavenly secret divine eyes, his opponent would kneel down and become his slave. But now, he was facing the same illusion. And the one who used it was the Sage King. Damn it! Lin Xian's eyes suddenly burst with golden light. He had activated the heavenly secret divine eyes to the extreme. Golden flames burned fiercely. At the same time, the great dragon sword soul in his body roared and turned into a dragon shadow, destroying the white vortex. In the next moment, Lin Xian roared. Thousands of sword chi rushed out of his body, and more cracks appeared on his body. But he did not submit, nor was he affected by the illusion. Is this the Sage King? It's really powerful, but I'm not a pushover either, Lin Xian roared. His voice was like a real dragon, resounding in all directions. Opposite him, the mysterious woman's face darkened. Who knows if he's dead or alive? She was furious. A first heaven sage was no different from an ant in front of her. But now, this ant dared to jump around in front of her for such a long time? Everything should end now. The white light in her eyes became even more dazzling. The white vortex kept spinning and turned into two white demonic flowers. The golden runes formed by the heavenly secret divine eyes were also shattered. Golden blood flowed out of Lin Xian's eyes. Ah! Lin Xian roared to the sky. The blood in his body boiled. The great dragon sword soul merged with him, and the peerless sword light destroyed everything. Although there were more injuries on his body, he was still not affected by the eye technique. "Unless you kill me, don't ever think of making me submit." Lin Xian's voice was extremely sharp. Seeing this scene, the mysterious woman was also stunned. What a sharp aura! Her eye technique just now seemed to have subdued a small saint. He would become her slave. But the first heaven ant in front of her was unharmed. Although he was injured all over, his eyes were extremely clear. "Do you think I don't dare to kill you?" A terrifying killing intent appeared on her body, instantly forming a killing array. The 9 heavens and 10 earths were shattering. The Sage King was too powerful. Lin Xian's body was bleeding profusely. He laughed coldly and said, "Fine, then kill me. If you kill me, you can forget about leaving this place for the rest of your life." On the other side, the mysterious woman's expression was gloomy. Indeed, one needed to have an extremely masculine physique to break through the formation. It wasn't easy for her to wait for one. If she really killed him now, it would be very troublesome for her to get out again. She might have to wait for another few thousand years. In the next moment, she withdrew her murderous aura. With a wave of his hand, the divine chains of law wrapped around Lin Xian. In an instant, Lin Xian's injuries were healed. "Tell me, kid, what are your conditions? Feel free to mention it. What do you think? That's why you're helping me?" Lin Xian's face was a little pale. He was really shocked by the strength of a Sage King. With just a raise of his hand, he was able to recover from such serious injuries in an instant. It was truly shocking. After calming himself down, he asked, "Who are you? Why are you sealed here?" If she was a demon, he wouldn't let her out even if he was beaten to death. Otherwise, it wouldn't be just him. Everyone would suffer. "I'm Patriarch Dongfang. You wouldn't know my name even if I told you," the mysterious woman said in a deep voice. Her gaze became ancient, as if she had experienced endless years. "As for why I'm trapped here, of course, I was framed by despicable and shameless people. That's why I'm sealed here. 38,000 years ago, I became a Sage King and dominated the ancient path of the starry sky. Everyone thought highly of me and thought that I could enter the supreme sage realm within 1,000 years. It wasn't impossible for me to become a great emperor in the future. But in the end, I was framed by a few friends. They used the supreme sage's corpse to make poison and made me consume it. Then, they sealed me in a bronze coffin and sent me to this demonic pool. Then, those people set up a peerless formation and sealed this place. Even if I wake up, I'll be trapped here forever." At this point, monstrous killing intent rose from the other party's body again. This time, the killing intent was 100 times stronger than before. That place had completely turned into nothingness. Lin Xian's hair stood on end. Fortunately, the killing intent wasn't directed at him. Otherwise, he would have been killed long ago. At the same time, he was extremely shocked. She was framed? Moreover, it was 38,000 years ago. Could it be? She had been sleeping for tens of thousands of years? No wonder the Valley of Demon Cultivation wasn't too dangerous before. Now that she had woken up, this place had become a land of death. What should he say? She was also a pitiful woman. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. However, at this moment, Heishan transmitted his voice. "Kid, don't let your emotions get the better of you. No matter how pitiful she is, she's still a Sage King. You can't be careless at all. Hurry up and state your request. The most important thing is to get benefits." Heishan was indeed a remnant soul of a supreme sage. He could still maintain his rationality at this time. Lin Xian took a deep breath and nodded. He naturally knew. Therefore, he said, "I can help you break the seal, but I have 2 requests." "Speak." The mysterious woman suddenly smiled. The vicissitudes of life in her eyes disappeared. The killing intent that filled the sky also disappeared. He really didn't know if the story just now was true, or if she made it up. However, Lin Xian couldn't care less. He said in a low voice, "The first request is that you swear on your life that you won't kill me." The second request is that you must teach me one of your ultimate techniques. After saying this, Lin Xian looked at the other party nervously. After all, she was a sage king. This level was too far away for him. She was like a high and mighty god. Therefore, he had to be careful. The mysterious woman nodded after hearing this. Kid, you are very rational. You know that these two requests aren't too much. Indeed, the first request is to protect your life. This is the most basic. The second request is to learn an ultimate technique. This is equivalent to the reward for breaking the seal. Therefore, the mysterious woman said, I swear on my life that I won't kill you after I break free. Otherwise, I will be struck by heavenly lightning. My body and soul will be destroyed, and I will never be able to reincarnate. After hearing this, Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. This kind of oath couldn't be made casually, especially when one reached the Sage King realm. Every word and sentence was the law of heaven and earth. If one violated it, it would definitely lead to an unexpected disaster. Therefore, he knew that his life was saved. Next, his eyes were burning. What kind of ultimate technique would the other party teach him? The other party was a Sage King. The ultimate technique in the other party's hands would definitely not be weak. Even if it couldn't be compared to the inheritance of a supreme sage, it wouldn't be far off. If you want to learn my ultimate technique, you have to break the seal first. Once you break it, I will teach you, the mysterious woman said. Chapter 34:16. Hearing this, Lin Xian became anxious. No, you have to teach it to me first. Although she promised not to kill him, he wouldn't be able to catch up with her if she left after breaking the seal. Where could he find her in the future? Therefore, Lin Xian decisively refused. You dare to question me? The mysterious woman's face darkened. A small ant dared to challenge her dignity again and again? If it was any other time, she could easily kill him with a breath. But now, she couldn't do anything. That was because she still needed to rely on him to break the formation. Therefore, she could only say patiently, Good boy, no one has ever dared to challenge me like this. You are the first. Your courage is commendable. Fine, I will teach you the ultimate technique first. I am not afraid that you will go back on your word. Hearing this, Lin Xian was expressionless, but he rolled his eyes in his heart. Nonsense, you have been sleeping for tens of thousands of years. It would be strange if you could see a ghost. He knew that he was her last hope because there were very few people in the universe with a physique like his. If she missed one, who knew how many years she would have to wait? The mysterious woman looked at Lin Xian. Just now, I saw that your physique was extremely masculine and had a sun-like illusion. It should be the divine nine-yang physique. The divine nine-yang physique is famous in the universe. Therefore, I will not teach you about body cultivation. Your soul and eye techniques are not bad. Moreover, you can use sword chi. You should be a swordsman. I can teach you soul eye techniques, or I can teach you sword techniques. You can choose one of them. Your sword chi is too sharp. Even I am a little moved. You should have a treasure in your body, right? I wonder what it is. Saying this, the mysterious woman looked at Lin Xian and smiled. Lin Xian's scalp went numb. As expected of the Sage King, she could see through his characteristics in an instant. Divine body, soul, and sword chi. These were all his strengths. The secret of the divine nine-yang physique had been discovered by the other party. It was better to hide the secret of the great dragon sword soul. So he said, Yes, I am indeed a swordsman. Moreover, what I comprehended is the will of sword Tao. As he spoke, he hurriedly displayed several strands of sword Qi Law. Of course, Lin Xian himself was not a sword Tao Law, but the great dragon sword soul could simulate everything, so it should be possible to deceive a Saint King. Unless the Saint King investigated carefully. The other party only glanced at him for a moment before ignoring him. How about this? I'll teach you a sword technique that can increase your attack power. That way, your battle prowess will increase, and you'll be able to fight above your level. Hearing this, Lin Xian rolled his eyes. There was no need. He already had the great dragon sword soul, so why would he need to use his opponent's secret technique to increase his battle prowess? Therefore, he quickly shook his head. Refused to learn? The woman in black was stunned. To be honest, she was a saint king. Which of the ultimate techniques she took out were not earth-shattering? In the outside world, those sages would definitely fight to the death. But now, this kid in the first celestial layer in front of him actually didn't want to learn. He even showed a look of disdain. How infuriating. Then I'll teach you a set of palm techniques. I refuse to learn. I refuse to learn. Lin Xian shook his head. Next, the mysterious woman's face was full of black lines. She said 3 ultimate techniques in a row, but the other party directly shook his head and refused. This made her so angry that her lungs were about to explode. Damn kid, what do you want? Senior, you really don't have any sincerity at all. I'm taking a great risk to break the array formation to let you out. Who knows if your story just now is true? You're actually teaching me such an ordinary divine ability? Can't you teach me some of your inherited martial arts? Speaking of this, Lin Xian had a trace of hope. Kid, you're actually coveting my inherited martial arts. The woman in black was furious. If she took out her inheritance, even saint kings of the same level would be jealous. How could she teach it to him? Alright, kid, I'll teach you a true ultimate technique then. Although this isn't my inheritance, its power is definitely not weaker than mine. You should be satisfied this time. Oh, it's not weaker than the Saint King's inheritance? Lin Xian was surprised. What kind of divine ability is this? This divine ability was called stellar transposition. Stellar transposition? Lin Xian was stunned. Inside the moon-shaped pendant, Black Mountain exclaimed as if he had thought of something. Kid, use your full strength to attack me, the mysterious woman said. Lin Xian was stunned when he heard that. Then, he said, alright, I won't hold back then. He threw out a 5-colored palm that carried the 5 elements law and blasted forward. The mysterious woman drew a circle with her palm. It was unknown what kind of power she used, but the 5 elements palm was actually repelled by her. With an even more terrifying power, it charged towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian jumped in fright and hurriedly dodged. Only then did he manage to dodge. What's going on? He was too surprised. From the looks of it, it was as if the other party had also thrown out a 5-colored palm. Lin Xian had the great dragon sword soul. Perhaps he could really do that. However, the other party shouldn't be able to do that. Then what's going on? The mysterious woman said. Do you see it? This is stellar transposition. No matter what kind of divine ability it is, it can be reflected back to you. It can even hit the target you want to hit. How is it? Isn't this divine ability powerful? Indeed, it's very magical. Lin Xian was tempted. However, he was curious. He wondered if the great dragon sword soul could be broken. He didn't dare to try because he didn't want to expose the secret of his great dragon sword soul. Alright, I'll learn it. Lin Xian nodded. Next, the mysterious woman began to teach stellar transposition to Lin Xian. Stellar transposition had a very short outline, only about 100 words. However, the core of it was only 2 words. It was to turn and move. That was the most important thing. It could convert the opponent's power back or move it to another place. That was the mystery of stellar transposition. This move, when practiced to the end, was really too powerful. For example, this mysterious woman could even move the laws when she used stellar transposition. It could be said that its power was unfathomable. Lin Xian was only surprised at first. After all, he had 2 great inheritances, and he didn't care about ordinary ones. However, the more he cultivated, the more shocked he became. This was simply too powerful. It was definitely not weaker than the 9-yang divine body. At this time, He Shan transmitted his voice. Of course, this was because the person who created stellar transposition eventually became a great emperor. What? This was created by a great emperor? Lin Xian was shocked after hearing this. In that case, this should be an emperor divine ability. Lin Xian was too shocked. He didn't expect that Yan Nantian would obtain an emperor-grade mystique in the Devil Cultivation Valley, even though he didn't obtain the Hanwu inheritance. After knowing this, he cultivated even more wholeheartedly. During this time, he even pestered the mysterious woman to explain it. The personal guidance of a sage king would definitely benefit him greatly. Chapter 34:17. Therefore, Lin Xian's progress was very fast. Later on, he didn't need her guidance anymore. He just created a clone and started practicing. Lin Xian became more and more familiar with it. In the end, even the mysterious woman was a little surprised. What's going on with this kid? She was too surprised. Although stellar transposition looked simple, it was very difficult to master. After all, this was an emperor-level ability. Its origin was definitely extraordinary. Even a sage wouldn't be able to master it without hundreds of years. But Lin Xian actually managed to master it in such a short period of time. Although compared to her, it was still thousands of miles away. However, this kind of cultivation speed really shocked her to the core. He's a genius, a peerless genius. His talent is too good. Why do I see the shadow of a young great emperor in him? The mysterious woman was a little dazed, but then she shook her head. Great emperor? That was a supreme existence. It wasn't something that just anyone could achieve. How many talented people had died on their way here? Countless great sages were filled with despair at that step. So no one could guarantee that they wouldn't reach it. Although the young man in front of her was talented, he was still far from reaching that step. Alright, this ability isn't something that can be mastered in a day or two. So now, you should start breaking the seal. The mysterious woman urged. She had been trapped here for too long. She wanted to get out quickly. Lin Xian didn't immediately start. Instead, he said, Senior, although I can help you break the formation, what about after? You can leave, but I'll still be chased by the Vermilion Bird Palace. Even if you help me destroy those people near the Demon Cultivation Valley, as long as the Vermilion Bird Palace isn't destroyed, I'll still be threatened. So, why don't you teach me another secret art? I'm only saying this to protect myself. This is definitely the last time. I won't ask for anything in the future. The mysterious woman's face sank. Stellar transposition was already very powerful. It was an emperor-level ability. But she didn't expect him to want another one. However, after thinking about it, a smile suddenly appeared on her face. Alright, then I'll give you another set of ultimate techniques. But this is the last time. If you dare to make any demands of me, I will kill you directly. Even if I don't go out, I won't be threatened by others. A sage king had the dignity of a sage king. This mysterious woman would probably do as she said. Lin Xian said. Senior, don't worry. Alright, then I'll teach you another eye technique called Emerald Tide. This was an attack-type eye technique. It was extremely terrifying. Speaking up to this point, green Dao patterns suddenly appeared in the mysterious woman's eyes. They were densely packed, and the entire color had turned green. It was extremely strange. As for Lin Xian, he could feel his soul beating wildly. Danger, an absolute danger. This eye technique was simply too terrifying. It could kill without leaving a trace. Next, the mysterious woman transmitted the ocular technique, Sound of the Jade Tide, to Lin Xian. Lin Xian practiced it briefly and discovered that this eye technique was also extremely profound. It was impossible to master it in a short period of time. Right now, he had only scratched the surface. However, the mysterious woman had already urged him again. Lin Xian simply stood up and said, Senior, I'll start breaking the array now. He walked to the front and activated his 9-yang divine constitution. The light on his body was like a sun. Then, the surrounding ghostly aura spread out and the array formation appeared. The array formation was branded in the void. One look at it could make one faint. This was a peerless array formation set up by the combined efforts of supreme experts. However, the mysterious woman had stayed here for so long that she had long studied this array formation thoroughly. In addition to Lin Xian's divine constitution, it was not a problem to break this array formation. Indeed, not long after, one of the stone tablets suddenly shattered. The surrounding array formation also spread out, and countless cracks appeared. That's great. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. However, he was soon stunned. This was because he discovered that after the array formation shattered, the mysterious woman was not happy. The mysterious woman was not happy. Instead, she frowned. He also saw something different. Although the array formation had shattered, the surroundings were filled with a more terrifying aura. A few figures stood there in an eerie manner. Their auras were even more terrifying than the previous array formation. Could it be that they still had a backup plan? Who exactly were these people? Why would they go to such lengths to seal the mysterious woman? The mysterious woman glanced at the four figures with a grin. How ruthless, daring to use the corpses of the sacred spirits to suppress me after the array formation is broken. Unfortunately, once the Heaven-Earth Arcane Yellow formation is broken, the corpses of the sacred spirits will not be able to suppress me. Kid, lend me a hand. Saying this, Lin Xian's body shuddered as he lost control of his body. What? Lin Xian was startled. He tried to resist, but the mysterious woman's voice echoed in his ears. Don't resist, I won't do anything to you. I need to borrow your yang energy to break the formation. You won't be able to break these sacred spirits now, so let me do it. Lin Xian did not resist after hearing this. In the next moment, his arm was raised. A golden sword Qi soared into the sky. It was burning with the 9 suns' divine flame, releasing an unparalleled strength of yang. What kind of sword is this? Lin Xian's heart pounded wildly. The power was too strong, like a golden heavenly sword. The sword cut through the entire sky. The corpses of the 4 sacred spirits roared crazily. Lin Xian's heart skipped a beat when he saw the power of the attack. A minor saint was instantly turned into ashes under such an attack. This was the power of a sage king. He could not block it at all. No wonder the mysterious woman wanted to help him. Although the power of the sacred spirits was terrifying with an extremely evil aura, the mysterious woman's method was even more terrifying. A golden sword was swept out by her, instantly killing the corpses of the 4 sacred spirits. Countless cracks appeared between heaven and earth. The surging power made Lin Xian breathe instinctively. Boom! 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 In the end, the entire valley of devil cultivation was torn apart. Terrifying demonic Qi soared into the sky. At this moment, the valley of devil cultivation was completely destroyed. This was a land of death. Even minor saints did not dare to come here. However, the mysterious woman's attack had completely destroyed it. This was absolute power. Kid, I'm leaving. Take care of yourself. Maybe we'll meet again one day. The mysterious woman soared into the sky and turned into a black light. Lin Xian was shocked when he saw this scene. Outside the Valley of Devil Cultivation, the people of Vermilion Bird Palace were completely stunned. What's going on? Why is there a change in the Valley of Devil Cultivation? Suddenly, a violent energy rushed over and sent all of them flying. Many of them were saints. They were worried that they would be sent flying and vomited blood. Their faces were filled with fear. Damn it, is the change in the Valley of Devil Cultivation even more terrifying? Chapter 34:18. The young disciples were so scared that their scalps went numb. Suddenly, one of them knelt on the ground, trembling. Look, it's the Demon Cultivation Valley. The others took a closer look and sucked in a breath of cold air. A cross-shaped crack appeared in the middle of the Demon Cultivation Valley. The entire valley was split into 4 halves. Boundless demonic energy rolled in, covering the entire sky. What happened? The people in the Demon Cultivation Valley were stunned. They even forgot to send a message to the Grand Elder. At this moment, a ray of light streaked across the sky, bringing with it a boundless wave of energy. Not good, someone came out of the Demon Cultivation Valley. Could it be Lin Woody? Many people wanted to rush forward. But in the next moment, Any martial saint who came close would be torn into pieces and turned into a bloody mist. That black ray of light was too terrifying. Everything in its path turned into ashes. Run, run! The remaining Vermilion Bird Palace martial artists ran away like crazy. They knew that it wasn't Linwoody. This was an extremely terrifying existence. Perhaps it was the legendary existence that was sealed in the Devil Cultivation Valley. After the black ray of light left for a long time, they let out a sigh of relief. Although the surrounding aura was still terrifying, the destructive aura had disappeared. They knew that the terrifying existence had left. Didn't that mean that they could enter the Demon Cultivation Valley? Thinking of this, their eyes lit up. But in the next moment, they screamed. It's him! He's there! They discovered that a figure had emerged from the Demon Cultivation Valley below. That figure was like a sun god, and his entire body was burning with golden flames. Linwoody, it's him. He's still alive. And he's coming out now. Go, catch him. Don't let him leave. The surrounding Vermilion Bird Palace people quickly surrounded him. The weaker ones were far away, notifying the headquarters. As for the stronger sages, they were attacking in a frenzy. One of the sages spat out countless fire elemental laws, forming a flame that kept spinning, enveloping Lin Xian. It couldn't withstand a single blow. Lin Xian sneered. With a wave of his hand, the 5 elemental laws extinguished the fire. At this moment, a figure dashed over from afar. Die, kid! As soon as this figure appeared, it brought with it a powerful saint aura. A saint of the second heaven. These Vermilion Bird Palace martial practitioners were all excited. That's great, even though their Grand Supreme Elder hasn't arrived yet. However, a saint of the second heaven had arrived. After all, no matter how strong Linwoody was, he was only a saint in the first heaven. The difference between the realms of each heaven of a saint was extremely huge. It was a chasm that could not be crossed. The other party was dead for sure. Kid, it's all over. The second-level sage was a middle-aged man. With a wave of his hand, the nomological laws on his body formed a large cauldron. He quickly rushed over. The cauldron was incomparably heavy, suppressing everything. Lin Xian roared. The 5 elemental laws formed a law sword that turned into a stream of light and slashed out. In the next moment, an earth-shattering sound rang out as the 2 nomological powers collided with each other, emitting a sonorous sound. The void in the sky shattered, and the laws danced. The flaming cauldron was actually blocked. The surrounding Vermilion Bird Palace people screamed as if they had gone mad. How was that possible? They were all stunned. That was a saint of the second heaven. Against a saint of the first heaven, he would definitely be instantly killed. Even if he was lucky enough not to die, he would be seriously injured. But now, Linwoody actually blocked the attack of a saint of the second heaven. This was simply too inconceivable. Damn it, what was he doing? Perhaps that Vermilion Bird Palace saint of the second heaven was also extremely shocked. An ant was actually able to block his attack. Damn it, I don't believe it. You must be burning your life force. He roared and struck again. The flaming cauldron burned fiercely, and 2 vermilion birds appeared on it. As they circled around each other, its power increased again. Lin Xian shouted coldly and struck with 9 suns open heaven. It collided with the other party's divine power once again. The 2 collided, and sparks flew. Lin Xian retreated, but the saint of the second heaven felt his arm go numb, and his face was filled with shock. The other party really blocked it. Damn it, how was that possible? The other saints of the first heaven were furious. The 3 saints of the first heaven also quickly charged forward. However, they were swept away by the other party's leg. The other party's leg carried a boundless aura of wind and clouds. The 5 elemental laws surrounded it, and all kinds of terrifying energy rushed over. The 3 of them were forced to retreat. However, at this moment, a flying sword flew over. The flying sword was not big, only 1 meter long. The aura it carried was too terrifying, as if it could penetrate everything in the world. The law of death. It was a move that was specially made for killing. Moreover, the power of the law of the person who attacked was very terrifying. He was also a saint of the second heaven. Another saint of the second heaven had descended. Moreover, he attacked with a fatal blow. His target was Lin Xian's neck. He could instantly cut off Lin Xian's head. Not good. Lin Xian was shocked, but he was not worried. The corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. Stellar transposition. On his finger, the divine chains of laws circled and drew a 5-colored semicircle in the air. Immediately, the flying sword was repelled by the semicircle. It charged back at an even faster speed. With a pft, a scream sounded. Immediately after, an arm fell from the sky. Then, there was a crazy scream. Damn kid, how could it be? I'll kill you! I'll tear you into pieces! What happened? Everyone was stunned. Under such a fatal blow, shouldn't Lin Wuyi die without a doubt? But why was it that the one screaming was not Lin Wuyi, but their king from afar? An old man walked out from afar. He was wearing a vermilion bird robe, and one of his arms was dripping with blood. The people of Vermilion Bird Palace were dumbfounded. A saint of the second heaven! Another saint of the second heaven! Moreover, he was injured by the other party in an instant. What the hell was going on? That old man's face was terrifyingly gloomy. His arm was naturally cut off by his own flying sword. But why did his flying sword come back? Moreover, it caught him off guard, so his big arm was cut off by the other party. Lin Xian's face was also filled with shock. Was this the stellar shift? It was really too powerful. To be honest, he was overjoyed. With his strength, he could contend against a second heaven expert. However, if 2 second heaven experts were to launch a sneak attack, he would definitely need to use some of his trump cards to deal with them. But now, with just 1 stellar transposition, he resolved the crisis. Moreover, he injured the other party in an instant. As expected of a great emperor's divine ability. Damn it, this kid is too strange. All of you step back. Both of us, the middle-aged man said. Chapter 34:19. The old man also walked forward. The 2 saints of the second heaven surrounded Lin Xian from the front and the back. The remaining Vermilion Bird Palace people all retreated. They weren't worried. Perhaps they were careless before, but now, the 2 second heaven stage saints could definitely kill the other party. Kill! The 2 second heaven stage saints didn't waste any words and immediately attacked. Among them, the old man controlled the flying sword that flashed with incomparable killing intent. The law of killing pierced through the void. The other was the law of fire. The monstrous flames carried an incomparable aura. The combination of the two was incomparably terrifying. Even if the opponent was also a second heaven stage saint, he would probably die. Buzz! Lin Xian held the Great Destruction Spear and used the 9-yang sword technique to fight against the flame cauldron. Although the other party was a second heaven stage saint, his 5 elements law wasn't weak either. Therefore, he wasn't at a disadvantage at all. On the other side, he used the Kunping movement technique to dodge the flying sword. At the critical moment, he used the stellar transposition. This time, the flying sword directly attacked the middle-aged man. With a puchi, the middle-aged man was pierced by the flying sword. The middle-aged man screamed miserably as a bloody hole appeared on his body. The law of fire on his body was constantly repairing. His face was gloomy as he roared crazily. Damn it, you attacked me? The old man's face was also ugly. I didn't attack you, I killed that kid. Damn it, that kid is too strange. He seems to be able to affect my flying sword. Previously, I was injured by my own flying sword. What? The moment these words came out, the middle-aged man was stunned. The Vermilion Bird Palace experts were even more stunned. What was going on? Previously, they knew that Lin Xian had the 9-yang inheritance and the Great Dragon technique. His defense was strong and his attack was terrifying. But they had never seen him use such a strange method. Where did he get this from? Could it be the inheritance of the Great Emperor? However, they had never seen Yan Nantian use it before. Therefore, they were incomparably shocked. Lin Xian laughed. He laughed very happily. Could it be the divine ability of a great emperor? It was indeed powerful. He was able to face two saints of the second heaven without being at a disadvantage. However, he did not continue to fight, because he knew that these people had definitely notified the Vermilion Bird Palace's headquarters. It wouldn't be long before the little saints arrived. Therefore, Lin Xian laughed coldly. This young master has no time to play with you. Vermilion Bird Palace, I will remember you. In the future, I will uproot you. With that, Lin Xian soared into the sky, intending to leave. Damn it, stop him! Don't let him go! The surrounding people roared crazily. The two second heaven sages sneered. You want to leave? Do you think you can? The surrounding Vermilion Bird Palace experts all attacked. All sorts of weapon laws wildly surged out. However, under Lin Xian's powerful battle prowess, everything turned to ashes. Nothing could stop him. The 5 elemental laws transformed him into a 5-colored divine dragon that flew rapidly. The Vermilion Bird Palace experts were all stunned. Damn it, what kind of law was this? The other party had just become a first heaven sage. It hadn't been long, but the power of his law was so terrifying. It was not weak compared to the second heaven sages. One had to know that these second heaven sages had cultivated for thousands of years. That was why the power of their law was so strong. However, what did the other party have? Damn it, the 5 elemental laws. He had actually cultivated the 5 elemental laws into one. The two second heaven sages were also shocked beyond words. The middle-aged man waved his hand, and a flaming mountain that filled the sky directly imprisoned heaven and earth. On the other side, the person who used the killing intent law instantly set up more than 1,000 killing arrays. The densely packed array made one's scalp tingle. The terrifying power instantly turned that space into a complete mess. Lin Xian held the Great Destruction Spear in his hand and used the 9-yang sword technique. His left hand used the stellar transposition. His powerful divine body suppressed everything. A part of it was shattered, and some of the power was transferred by him to attack each other. Between heaven and earth, black holes kept appearing. Of course, the aftermath of this energy also blasted his body, causing his blood and qi to roar. However, how strong was the 9-yang divine body? He was only slightly affected, but his foundation was not affected at all. He charged out forcefully. He came out. The other party escaped again. They were really stunned. Who was this person? They had never seen a first heaven sage like this. This was simply heaven-defying. Humph, I don't have time to play with you. Lin Xian rose into the air, but he did not completely leave. He still had one move that he had not used. He opened his heavenly secret divine eyes. Among the golden runes, green Tao patterns appeared. Blue sea tide. A ball of golden green light exploded. With Lin Xian's eyes as the center, it spread in all directions. These green ripples were like waves, instantly roaring. The Vermilion Bird Palace experts who wanted to give chase were stunned. In the next moment, they hugged their heads and screamed. The first heaven sages' faces were distorted. Even the two second heaven sages' faces were pale. Not good. Soul attack. They all roared. Blue sea tide was not only a soul attack, but also a group attack. Once it was used, everyone in the space would be affected. Some of the weaker ones were directly killed. Their bodies were intact, but there was no vitality. The first heaven sages were also seriously injured. Their faces were pale, and they looked dispirited. Even the two second heaven sages were covered in cold sweat. They were also affected. Damn it! What kind of skill was this? It was too terrifying. The other party's strength was simply beyond their imagination. The inheritance of a great emperor must be a great inheritance. It was very likely that he had learned the inheritance of great Emperor Hanwu. Yes, that's right. The other old man's eyes were also shining. Although it was different from Yan Nantian's, Yan Nantian was only a half-saint before, and this kid was a sage. He might have cultivated an inheritance that Yen Nantian did not know. Kill him. I must get Great Emperor Hongwu's inheritance. These people were crazy. Buzz. The sky and earth shattered. 2 small saints descended, bringing with them more Vermilion Bird Palace experts. Where is he? One of the small saints asked coldly. The others knelt on the ground and reported to the Grand Elder. That person is very strange and powerful. He must have cultivated the inheritance of a great emperor. What? Chase after him. In addition, mobilize everyone. Don't let him escape on the path to planet Langia. The Vermilion Bird Palace chased after him like crazy. Everyone on planet Suzaku was completely shocked at this moment. They knew that the Vermilion Bird Palace was chasing after Lin Wudi. However, it had been calm during this period of time, and they thought that the matter was over. They did not expect that the Vermilion Bird Palace would go crazy again today. Chapter 34:20. And this time, regardless of whether it was on planet Suzaku, the people of Vermilion Bird Palace had already come to the outer realm. It seemed like they had set up something on the ancient star path. This scene shocked everyone. Perhaps something big was about to happen. The people from the other star realms also sensed this, and they were immediately puzzled. They all poked their heads out, and then they all sucked in a cold breath. The people of Vermilion Bird Palace were going to attack Lin Wudi. What was going on? Were they going to clear the path for Yen Nantian? After the Dark Moon Temple learned of this, they frowned. Investigate, they must investigate carefully. Not only the Dark Moon Temple, but the 8 Wind Palace and other top factions were also investigating this matter. Because they felt that this was too unusual. Under normal circumstances, if they wanted to kill Lin Wudi, such a threatening peerless prodigy, they would secretly send elites to kill him. They would definitely not make such a big fuss. After all, killing a peerless prodigy with great fanfare was a huge taboo on the ancient star path. Because if such a thing was not restrained and spread, then the unlucky ones would be all their factions. If you had elites and could kill the prodigies of other sects, then the elites of other sects could also kill your prodigies. Then it would be a complete mess. Therefore, they would not openly carry out such a large-scale killing, but would only secretly attack. So that others could not find evidence. But now, Vermilion Bird Palace's actions were very unusual. Therefore, it made the other sacred grounds feel that something must have happened that they did not know. This caused the people of Vermilion Bird Palace to go completely crazy. At the same time, they had another question. Lin Wudi should have gone to the Void Sea. Why would he appear here? Why was he being hunted down by Vermilion Bird Palace? Could it be that something had happened at the Void Sea? Could it be that Yen Nantian was defeated by Lin Wudi in the Void Sea? They were very puzzled, so they decided to ask about the Void Sea. The Void Ocean was too far away, but each family and sect had their own sound transmission array formation. They sent out messages to ask those people in the Void Sea. However, after waiting for a long time, they did not receive any response. It was as if those people had disappeared. Damn it, how was this possible? They sent messages again to ask. However, there was no response. This time, those people panicked. That shouldn't be the case. Looking at the time, it should be about time for him to return. Besides, Lin Wudi's return means that the Sea of Void must be over. But why is there no response from our people? Could it be that there was an accident? Thinking of this possibility, their hearts sank, and they hurriedly went to investigate. Each of these forces had sent a small team to the Void Sea to find out what was going on. At the same time, they were also gathering information like crazy on planet Suzaku because the people of planet Suzaku must know something. Very few people knew that Yen Nantian had been killed. Aside from the people of the Vermilion Bird Palace, those who knew had all been killed. Therefore, no one else on planet Suzaku knew that Yen Nantian was dead, and the people of Suzaku Palace wouldn't say anything even if they were beaten to death. After asking around, the major factions only found out that Lin Wudi seemed to have obtained some incredible treasure. The Vermilion Bird Palace was jealous, which was why they attacked like crazy. Treasure? Linwoody? Void Ocean? Suddenly, they were stunned. Could it be that Linwoody had obtained some important treasure from the Sea of Void? The Vermilion Bird Palace was jealous, which was why they were chasing after him like crazy. At the same time, they found out that Saint Mubai of planet Langia had already returned. Yen Ryu and the North Demon had also left. The moment the news came out, they were all stunned. The people of planet Langia had returned safely. Linwoody was also causing trouble outside, but their people had mysteriously disappeared. This made them know that something must have happened in the Sea of Void, and this change was very likely related to the Vermilion Bird Palace's rage. Damn it, what was it? They could only ask the people of Vermilion Bird Palace while going to planet Langia to gather information. Of course, Lin Xian didn't know any of this. Lin Xian was very safe at the moment because he was still on planet Suzaku. The people of Vermilion Bird Palace probably wouldn't have guessed that he was in such a dangerous place. In a very remote mountain range on planet Suzaku, Lin Xian had opened up a cave tens of thousands of kilometers underground. He was cultivating there. He wanted to improve stellar transposition and blue tide again. Because these two abilities were simply too powerful, Lin Xian felt a great power when he used them for the first time. Therefore, he knew that this would be an important method for him in the future. He had to make use of this time to improve. Half a year passed in the blink of an eye. Lin Xian opened his eyes and felt that it was time to return. Although the most dangerous place was the safest place, there might be some terrifying existence awakening in Vermilion Bird Palace. This time, it was a small saint. If a holy sovereign or sage king awakened, it would be bad. The means of a sage king made Lin Xian's hair stand on end. Therefore, he felt that it was safest to return to planet Langia first. Kid, are you sure you want to go back? Just then, the Black Mountain Great Sage asked through voice transmission. If news of Yen Nanshan's death spreads, everyone's target will be you. Previously, you had 2 great inheritances, which made people jealous. However, you were strong and had planet Langia. Moreover, there was a dazzling genius like Yen Nantian to distract them. Therefore, you were not in danger at that time. But now, Yen Nantian is dead, and he was killed by you. In everyone's opinion, Yen Nanshan's inheritance must be with you. Although the 9 sons' inheritance was tempting, they still had to consider it. However, the inheritance of Great Emperor Han Wu was different. Not to mention these sages, even sage kings and great sages would be jealous of the inheritance of a great emperor. When the time comes, do you think Langia Star will make a move on you? Hearing this, Lin Xian fell silent for a while. But soon, he said, I believe Langia Star will not. Moreover, they might be able to deduce that I did not obtain the true inheritance of a great emperor. Therefore, I have decided to go back. All right. Black Mountain did not say anything else. Lin Xian hid his aura and prepared to leave quietly. In the past half a year, Dragon Valley, 8 Wind Palace, and other powerful forces had gone crazy. Because they were really crazy. In half a year, there was no news of the experts and geniuses that they had sent to the Void Ocean. This made them despair. They knew that these people were most likely dead. But they wanted to know who the murderer was. They wanted revenge. They wanted to tear the murderer into pieces. Chapter 34-21. Among them, they focused their investigation on the Langia Star because they were the only ones who managed to return. Although the Vermilion Bird Palace had gone berserk, the people they had sent to the Void Ocean had not returned. Even Yen Nantian seemed to have disappeared without a trace. The Langia Star acted as if it was facing a great enemy, and once again activated its world-level array formation. The entire star realm was completely enveloped. They also refused to provide any clues to anyone. However, the Dragon Valley and the 8 Wind Palace were very powerful, so they still managed to obtain some information. First of all, it seemed that only Sage Mu Bai had returned. Other than that, everyone else seemed to have fallen. It was also revealed that Lin Xian had obtained the Great Sage's inheritance from the Sikong family. It was also said that the fall of the elites and geniuses of the various large families was related to this great sage's inheritance. When this news came out, the surrounding large families and sects were all stunned. As expected, a peerless treasure had indeed appeared. The great sage's inheritance. Even they were jealous of it now. No wonder the Vermilion Bird Palace had attacked like crazy. It seemed like the other party was after the great sage's inheritance. Should we make a move? Damn it, Linwoody had not returned to the Langistar yet. We must act quickly. Yes, we must not let the Vermilion Bird Palace get ahead of us. The elites of the Dragon Valley and the Eight-Wind Palace quickly discussed countermeasures. The people from the Seacone clan were completely crazy. They had not paid much attention before, but when they heard that their great sage's inheritance had appeared, they were all pleasantly surprised. However, when they found out that their great sage's inheritance had been snatched away by an outsider, they went completely crazy. Their reaction was no worse than the Vermilion Bird Palace's. Damn it! Our own ancestors' inheritance must not fall into the hands of others. Yes, capture Linwoody and tear him to pieces. Linwoody was too greedy. He already had the 9 sons' inheritance, and the great dragon inheritance. How dare he covet our great sage's inheritance? He deserved to die. The Seacone family swore that they would capture Linwoody and take back their inheritance. The Langistar. It was as if they were facing a great enemy. In fact, Sage Mubai and the others had immediately sent people to receive Lin Xian after returning. After all, Lin Xian was too dangerous. However, when they returned to the Void Ocean, they found that there was no one there. Lin Xian was nowhere to be found. This made them extremely anxious all the way. In the end, they discovered that the news had been exposed and countless experts had come to besiege the Langistar. As a result, they had no choice but to activate a world-level defensive formation. At the same time, they were even more worried about Lin Xian's safety. These people would definitely go crazy and hunt down Lin Xian regardless of the consequences. However, there was one piece of information that surprised them greatly. Lin Xian actually went to planet Suzaku. What was going on? This information was obtained by chance, so they were even more confused. Could it be related to Yan Nantian? They didn't know, so they could only send people to search quickly. However, at this moment, a piece of news spread. The moment this news came out, it caused an uproar in the myriad worlds. Yan Nantian was dead. Yan Nantian had been killed. And he was killed by Linwoody. This news was simply too crazy. The major families, sects, and sacred grounds were all stunned. The people of Vermilion Bird Palace roared madly when they heard the news. Damn it, who was it? They had already killed everyone who knew. The others were all members of Vermilion Bird Palace. It was impossible for them to leak the news. But now, the news had still spread. Reporting to the palace master, a saint has disappeared. This news appeared in Vermilion Bird Palace. The expressions of the Vermilion Bird Palace master and the Grand Elders changed when they heard it. Damn it, this is bad. An expert has kidnapped one of our saints and is searching his soul. That was how they learned about Yan Nantian. This small saint's guess was right. The person who took action was someone from Eight-Wind Palace. A small saint from Eight-Wind Palace secretly took action and kidnapped a Vermilion Bird Palace saint on planet Suzaku. Then, they received the news after searching his soul. When they heard the news, they were also extremely shocked. Yan Nantian was dead. He was killed by Linwoody. No wonder Vermilion Bird Palace was so crazy. Yan Nantian was the hope of Vermilion Bird Palace. Now, their hope was destroyed. How could they not be crazy? Moreover, they guessed that Yan Nantian's great emperor inheritance might have fallen into Lin Xian's hands. This made them even more jealous. No, they had to keep this news a secret and secretly capture Linwoody. But they didn't expect Eight-Wind Palace to have a spy. That was why the news spread. And it spread all over the universe. Once the news came out, it was a big deal. It wasn't just about the Void Ocean and the Great Saint inheritance. It involved the Great Emperor inheritance. They were well aware of how terrifying the inheritance of great Emperor Hongwu was. If they could get it, their chances of becoming a great emperor would increase greatly. Suddenly, everyone's eyes turned red. Originally, Planet Langia was already in the limelight. This news caused Planet Langia to be in extreme danger again. Planet Langia had no choice but to activate many world-class formations. Even the Langia Palace Master and some Grand Elders had no choice but to go to the underground dragon vein, ready to awaken some living fossils at any time. They used their foundation to prevent the destruction of the world. Langia Palace. The Crimson Dragon was extremely anxious. Yen Ryu had already left, but the Northern Demon and his sister stayed behind. The Northern Demon stood on a mountain peak and frowned. He didn't know how Brother Lin was doing now. To be honest, he was really worried. Beside him, the Crimson Dragon also walked out, shaking his head and sighing. The Northern Demon asked, "Have you found him?" The Crimson Dragon said, "No, I can't contact him." However, Saint Mubai and the others had already deduced that his life was not in danger. This was probably the best result. As for where that kid was, they still didn't know. "Why? It seems like you guys miss me a lot." At this moment, a faint voice sounded. The Crimson Dragon was shocked. "Damn, who is it?" His dragon blood surged, ready to attack at any time. The Northern Demon exclaimed, "Brother Lin, is that you?" "Yes, it's me." The void in front of him cracked open, and a figure walked out. The Northern Demon was happy, but the Crimson Dragon was puzzled. "Wait, who knows if it's a liar? Kid, show me the 9-yang divine body and the dragon sword soul. You've become more cautious in Ruzalong after not seeing you for a few days." In front of him, Lin Xian smiled. The 9-yang divine body bloomed, and the dragon's sword soul rumbled. The Crimson Dragon's chi and blood surged. He said, "It's really you. I knew you wouldn't die." He rushed forward, and so did the Northern Demon. They were really too happy. "Of course, I'm fine. By the way, where's Ryu?" Lin Xian asked. Chapter 34-22. Lin Xian knew that his whereabouts had been exposed along the way. Moreover, he had encountered many probes along the way. However, he had concealed his aura, and with the Black Mountain Great Sage as a cover, he had managed to reach the Langia Star. After arriving at the Langia Star, he heaved a sigh of relief. Yen Ryu had already returned. He had wanted to stay here for a while, but the Langia Star was surrounded. Thus, the two protectors beside her forcibly pulled her away. "So that's how it is." Lin Xian nodded. However, he was relieved to know that Yen Ryu was fine. "Let's go and meet Sage Mubai." They quickly rose into the air. When they arrived at the main hall, Sage Mubai and the others screamed, "Lin Xian, you're finally back!" They finally heaved a sigh of relief. They had already heard the news of Yan Nanshan's death, but if Lin Xian died, the loss would be even greater. They did not expect that Lin Xian had finally returned safely. "That's great." Immediately, the Vermilion Bird Palace's palace master and the elders arrived. When they saw this scene, they laughed out loud. "The heavens are helping me. Quickly strengthen the defense and seal off the news. No one is allowed to spread the news of Lin Xian. Those who violate will be killed without mercy." The Langia Palace Lord immediately gave the order. Next, the Langia Palace held a banquet. The main character of the banquet was naturally Lin Xian. Lin Xian was now their biggest backer. He was powerful and talented. His future was limitless. More importantly, he had brought back the Supreme Saint's Dharma idol and resolved the crisis of the Langia Star. It could be said that the entire Langia Star was excited and worshipped Lin Xian. However, at this moment, an old man spoke. "Rumor has it that you killed Yan Nantian. Is this true?" As soon as he said this, the surrounding people stopped talking. Everyone held their breaths and stared at Lin Xian with wide eyes. "Oh no." The Crimson Dragon cursed inwardly. "Oh no." Saint Mubai also frowned. He said that these were just rumors and should not be taken seriously. Hee, is that so? What a pity. I originally thought that Hall Master Lin had killed Yen Nantian and obtained his inheritance. He initially wanted to see what the succession of a martial monarch was like. The old man shook his head and didn't say anything else. After that, the atmosphere of the banquet became a little strange, so it ended early. Lin Xian handed the Dharma idol of the great sage to the Langya star so that they could use it to suppress the demonic qi on the Langya star. As for him, he returned to the 8th hall. Because now, that place was his territory. The North Fae and the Crimson Dragon also came to the 8th palace. They were all assigned as vice palace masters. However, they were not too excited. This title meant nothing to them. After entering the 8th palace, the Crimson Dragon set up a formation to isolate everything. Did you really kill Yen Nantian, brat? You really killed him? The North Demon was extremely curious as well. News was flying all over the outside world right now. Facing the two, Lin Xian had nothing to hide. He said, "That's right, I did kill Yen Nantian." The two of them sucked in a cold breath. The North Fae asked, "Did Yen Nantian not revive?" "He had the Emperor Regeneration Talisman." Lin Xian said, "I've killed him many times and used up all his Emperor Regeneration Talismans. So this time, he's completely dead." The Crimson Dragon asked, "Where's the succession of a martial monarch? Did you get the succession of a martial monarch?" He was too excited. However, Lin Xian shook his head. "No, it's not that easy to get a martial monarch's legacy. You'll probably have to have a great opportunity. Otherwise, you won't be able to get it. After I killed Yen Nantian, the inheritance of Great Emperor Han Wu flew away on its own." "What? That's what happened?" The Crimson Dragon and the North Fae were stunned, then sighed. They knew that Lin Xian wouldn't lie to them. What a pity. That's the succession of a martial monarch. If you can get it, your chances of becoming a martial monarch in the future will be much higher. It's useless. The succession of a martial monarch doesn't acknowledge you. Even if you're a great sage, you won't be able to get it. So, there's nothing to be sad about. Lin Xian shook his head. He didn't take this matter to heart. However, the North Fae frowned. "We believe in this matter. But others won't believe us if we tell them. Yes, I thought that the Langya star is reliable. But now, people are asking about this matter at the banquet. Obviously, these people are jealous of the succession of a martial monarch. Do you think the Langya star will make a move?" Lin Xian was silent. He had just helped the Langya star suppress the demonic energy. These people shouldn't be so ungrateful, right? Kid, you don't know that the Langya star isn't united. There are many factions inside. Especially now, there are so many strong enemies outside. Some living fossils under the dragon vein are about to awaken. Maybe one or two of them have already woken up. On the surface, the palace master is powerful and can manage everything. But he can't do anything about those living fossils. In the end, he might even be a figurehead. So, if a living fossil wants to snatch it, the Langya Palace Master and Saint Mu Bai can't do anything about it. Hearing this, Lin Xian was silent. He didn't expect such a thing to happen. But after thinking about it, he said that there are more strong enemies outside. Dragon Valley, 8 Wind Palace, and those are all looking for me. And Vermilion Bird Palace. So, it's not safe outside. It's better to stay on the Langya star. You said it yourself? Only some people are jealous, and some will protect us. So, it won't be easy for those people to make a move. The North Fae and the Crimson Dragon nodded. Since Lin Xian said so, they will settle down here for the time being. They will go out when the situation outside calms down. However, 3 days later, someone came to invite Lin Xian for tea. It was someone from the 2nd hall. Lin Xian frowned at this invitation. He didn't know anyone from the 2nd hall. He only knew a few people like Saint Mu Bai. As for the people from the 2nd hall, he really didn't know. My elders said that I must invite Hall Master Lin. Otherwise, I will be punished and face the wall for 100 years. So, please go, Hall Master Lin. Outside the door, a little boy insisted. It seemed that he wouldn't leave if Lin Xian didn't go. What should I do? Kid, do you want to go? Lin Xian's eyes flickered. Then he said, Okay, I'll see what they have up their sleeves. My two friends also wanted to go with us. The little boy said, Sure, Hall Master Lin can bring any friends. The little boy led the way happily, and Lin Xian and the others followed behind. The Langis Star was full of Langit Palace's forces. So, the distance between the second hall and the 8th hall was quite far. The spirit boat flew for half a day before they arrived at the second hall. Chapter 34-23. In the second palace, the cloudy mist celestial vine shone with a brilliant light. The mountains seemed to be able to split the sky and earth apart, giving off a majestic aura. Waterfalls cascaded down from the mountains like the Milky Way, hanging upside down from the 9 heavens. It was a spectacular sight. Just as they approached, 2 figures instantly rushed out from the mountain range below and shouted coldly, You're right. Stop, who are you? The 2 people were wearing armor and had powerful auras. They were obviously the guards of the mountain. The boy said, It's me. I'm here to invite Hall Master Lin under the orders of the elders. It turned out to be Hall Master Lin. The 2 guards in front cupped their fists respectfully when they saw Lin Xian and made an inviting gesture. Lin Xian and the others followed the boy and entered the mountains and rivers below. They landed on a mountain range, and the platform was cut off at the waist. There were many spirit flowers and spirit herbs on it, and it was indeed a good place to live. However, after they settled down, Lin Xian and the others waited for 2 days, but no one came to meet them. The Crimson Dragon was impatient. Damn, what's the meaning of this? Are they messing with us? Lin Xian also frowned. The Northern Demon also said coldly, What's going on? Are they trying to intimidate us? Indeed, they were invited, but the owner of this place did not want to see them and left the place cold for 3 days. No matter who it was, they would lose their temper. Since they're not coming, let's go. Lin Xian stood up and prepared to leave. However, at this moment, a group of people flew over from afar. The leader was a man who looked like a young master. He held a folding fan and walked over with a smile. Hall Master Lin, sorry for the disrespect. Our elder had something to do and was delayed. Please don't blame us, Hall Master Lin. Our Hall Master sent me to accompany you, Hall Master Lin. The people around him were also smiling, but he did not know if it was an illusion, but he felt that the smiles in their eyes were not that friendly. No, I have something to do too. Let's talk about tea later. Lin Xian prepared to leave. However, the young man with the folding fan said, Hall Master Lin, that's not good. Since you're already here, why don't you stay for a while longer? Otherwise, all of us would have come here for nothing. Hearing this, the Crimson Dragon sneered. Who do you think you are? How dare you compare yourself to us? You came here for nothing, but didn't we come here for nothing too? You're just a small disciple, so you're unhappy that you came here for nothing? But what are we? We have 2 Vice Palace Masters and the 8th Palace Master. We've been waiting here for 3 days and 3 nights. Do you think we're happy? Damn it, are you trying to fool us? If you're not convinced, then come and fight me. The dark rainbow dragon was thoroughly enraged. Upon hearing these words, the faces of the surrounding people darkened. Did this mean that Palace Master Lin was not giving face to the second hall? Face is earned. Since you don't want to give me face? Then aren't you thinking too much by asking me to give you face? Lin Xian's face darkened as well, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Hee, Hall Leader Lin, our second hall is not a place you can come and go as you please. The young man with the fan let out a hollow laugh. What, are you trying to stop us? Looks like you're really courting death. The Crimson Dragon was also angry. He was originally an arrogant guy, not to mention that he was from the Divine Dragon clan. How could he be bothered with these people? Although Lin Xian did not say anything, his heart was as clear as a mirror. These people had lured them here, but no one came to see them. After they left, they were not allowed to leave. This was obviously putting them under house arrest. He instantly understood what the other party was up to. It seemed like some people were too greedy and coveted the great emperor's inheritance. Upon hearing the Crimson Dragon's words, the young man said coldly, "The second hall will not fight with others so easily. However, the second hall also has its own rules. Not just anyone can challenge us. Everyone, please calm down." At this moment, a few figures flew over from afar. Upon seeing these figures, the surrounding people hurriedly bowed respectfully. "Greetings, Elder." After these people landed, they laughed and said, "Palace Master Lin, it's a misunderstanding. You haven't seen us for a few days. What's there to misunderstand?" The Crimson Dragon snorted coldly. The people from the second hall were not angry. Among them, the leading elder looked young. He said, "It's like this, Palace Master Lin, didn't you bring the Supreme Saint Dharma idol? It has indeed suppressed a portion of the demonic aura. However, there is still a portion that is hidden too deeply and cannot be communicated at the moment. Therefore, we would like to borrow Palace Master Lin's great spear of destruction. We will use it to draw out the remaining demonic aura and suppress it together." "Oh, this matter." Lin Xian frowned. Was he thinking too much? He said, "All right, I'll go with you." There was no need for Palace Master Lin to go personally. Palace Master Lin has just returned from outside. You must be tired. Palace Master Lin, you only need to rest here and hand the great spear of destruction to us." "Hand it to you?" Lin Xian frowned. The Crimson Dragon also snorted coldly. "Kid, don't do that. Who knows what they're up to? Palace Master Lin, you're thinking too much. I'm here. Don't you believe me?" Just then, an old man stood out. When they saw this person, the Northern Demon and Hong both exclaimed in surprise because they recognized this person. This person was one of the powerful cultivators who had followed Sage Mu Bai to bring them back from the Void Ocean. They didn't expect him to be here too. "Could it be true?" Lin Xian said. "Where's Elder Mu Bai? If he's here, I'll lend it to you." "Palace Master Lin, I'm here." "Seems like Boss Lin is thinking too much." Sage Mu Bai descended. F***CK, he's here. Is this old man fake? The Crimson Dragon took a closer look but didn't find anything strange. The Northern Demon frowned as well. Lin Xian was shocked. Could it be that he was overthinking things? "All right, I'll lend it to you." Since they were here to borrow a Dharma treasure to suppress the demonic aura, he didn't think too much. Therefore, he took out the great spear of destruction and gave it to Sage Mu Bai and the others. Those people laughed. "Don't worry, Palace Master Lin. Just wait here for a while. We'll return it within 7 days. Then, the few of them quickly rose into the air. "Palace Master Lin, please," the young man with a folding fan said and made an inviting gesture. Lin Xian said, "There's no need. I'll go back first. I'll come back when the time comes." He activated the teleportation portal and left quickly. However, after waiting for 7 days, no one returned the great spear of destruction. There wasn't even an explanation. This made Lin Xian frown. Damn it, what's wrong with these guys? Could it be that they don't want to give it to us anymore? The Crimson Dragon muttered. Perhaps they haven't succeeded in communicating with the demonic aura. But that's not right. Even if they haven't succeeded, they should have said something, right? They looked at Lin Xian. "Kid, what do you think we should do?" Chapter 34-24. Lin Xian stood up. "I'll go find Saint Mu Bai." He leaped into the air. "Let's go." The Crimson Dragon and the Northern Demon followed. They activated the formation and headed to Saint Mu Bai's cave. When they arrived, Saint Mu Bai was surprised. "Why are you here instead of resting? Is there something wrong?" The Crimson Dragon said. "Old man, you said it well. You borrowed our great spear of destruction and said that you would return it in 7 days. Why are you acting like nothing happened now? Let me ask you, where's the great spear of destruction?" "What great spear of destruction?" Saint Mu Bai was stunned. "I've never seen it before. How is that possible? Damn it, You're not thinking of taking the great spear of destruction for yourself, are you? Saint Mobai frowned. I've been discussing things with the Palace Master and the others for the past few days. Palace Master Lin will know if you check. Did something happen to Palace Master Lin? Lin Xian furrowed his brows and recounted the events that had transpired. Saint Mubai's expression changed. Damn the second palace. How dare they impersonate me? I'll take you there. No need. Since it's not you, Saint Mubai, I know what's going on. I can deal with this matter myself. A cold light flashed in Lin Xian's eyes. It seemed that someone had actually set their sights on him. Since that's the case, I don't mind showing my strength. With that, Lin Xian left. The Crimson Dragon and the Northern Demon followed. They frowned and said, It seems that we've been deceived. Yes, it's not Saint Mubai at all. Could it be that someone else is impersonating him to steal the great spear of destruction? It must be the people from the second palace. Damn it, the second palace is too bold. The great spear of destruction is a sacred weapon. It's a world-famous murderous weapon. If we can get it, our strength will increase greatly. Someone must be targeting us. We tried so hard to prevent them from asking about the great emperor's inheritance, but we didn't expect them to target the great spear of destruction. Kid, you can't be soft this time. Otherwise, they would think that we are easy to bully. The Crimson Dragon gnashed its teeth. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Of course. I'll let them know that I, Lin Xian, won't let them take my things so easily. They flew all the way to the area of the second hall. Who was it? The two guards coldly shouted again. However, Lin Xian didn't pay any attention to them. Instead, he directly rushed in. Someone was trying to force their way in. The two guards were shocked. The Northern Devil said, This is the 8th Palace Master. He has come here for business. The 8th Palace Master. When the two of them heard this, they were stunned. They realized that it was indeed Lin Xian who had arrived. Please let us inform them. No, I'll go by myself. Lin Xian immediately flew off into the distance. When the two guards saw this scene, their faces changed drastically, and they hurriedly went inside to report the matter. Soon, a few figures rushed out of the second hall. Hall Master Lin. These people were the ones from before. The one leading them was the young man with a folding fan. Hall Master Lin, why are you in such a hurry to come to the second hall? The young man with a folding fan asked with a smile. Oh, you're quite good at pretending. What do you think is the matter? You took our great spear of destruction, so we're naturally here to take it back. The Crimson Dragon snorted coldly. The young man with a folding fan was stunned. The Crimson Dragon shouted. Damn, aren't you too shameless? 7 days ago, a group of elders borrowed our great spear of destruction here. How dare you say that this didn't happen? Oh, I'm sorry about what happened a few days ago. I've been too busy recently. I'll have to ask about this matter. Hall Master Lin, I'll lead you to rest. No need. Lin Xian stood in the void and said coldly. Then I'll go and ask first. The young man with a folding fan turned into a stream of light and rushed into the distance. After about 2 hours he returned and sighed. Oh, Hall Master Lin, I'm so sorry. You came at such a bad time. Our primordial Chaos Elder is currently in seclusion. So, I don't know how your weapon is, Hall Master Lin. However, you don't have to be impatient, Hall Master Lin. Wait for some time until our elder comes out of seclusion. I think you can ask him then. Seclusion? The North Demon's expression changed. It was obvious that the young man was trying to deny it. The Crimson Dragon's temper was much worse than the North Demon's. Therefore, he immediately became angry. Damn it, do you think we're fools? What, your elder wants to take our great spear of destruction? You're courting death. Where is he in seclusion? I'll kill him with a slap. As the Crimson Dragon spoke, the surrounding situation changed. The expressions of the people from the second hall also changed, and the young man with a folding fan also frowned. I think you'd better calm down. Some things can't be said carelessly. Although you're the deputy hallmaster, you're only from the 8th hall. Compared to the second hall, you're too weak. If you want to behave atrociously in our second hall, you'd better find out about the situation of the entire Langistar before you decide if you want to take action," the young man with a folding fan said arrogantly. He was indeed very confident. The entire Langistar was filled with people from the Langi Palace. However, it was divided into many regions. Lin Xian and the others were only from the 8th Hall. The 8th Hall's influence was relatively small in the entire Langistar. It couldn't be compared to the 2nd Hall at all. Although these people were the Hall Master and Deputy Hall Master, in terms of real power, they couldn't even compare to an elder from the 2nd Hall. This was the difference between the 2nd Hall and the 8th Hall. The 2nd Hall was probably only slightly weaker than the 1st Hall in the entire Langistar. They didn't care about the others at all. Therefore, in their opinion, no one would dare to behave atrociously in their 2nd Hall. "Is that so? Looks like you're really courting death." The Crimson Dragon sneered and waved his dragon claw, clawing at the young man. "You're courting death." The young man with the folding fan was also furious. He waved the folding fan in his hand and a terrifying fragment of the precept rushed out. It was like the sun, illuminating half the sky. Crack! The light blocked the Crimson Dragon's dragon claw. The violent energy caused terrifying cracks to appear in the surrounding void. "You're quite strong, but try this again." The Crimson Dragon's dragon blood surged and struck out again, tearing the light apart. The dragon claw grabbed the young man's body and clenched hard. The young man's bones were all broken. "Ah!" A miserable cry came from the young man with a folding fan. "Damn it, how dare you hurt our young master!" The surrounding people's faces changed. The young man with a folding fan was the descendant of an elder. He had a noble status. If anything happened to him, they would be in deep trouble. "Haha, looks like we've caught a powerful person. Very well, if you want him to live, do as we say." Chapter 34-25. Lead the way. Go to that Elder Hunyuan's place of seclusion. Otherwise, I'll kill him and destroy his soul. As the dark rainbow dragon said this, the killing intent on its body became even stronger. Lin Xian stood there and did not make a move at all. There was no need for him to deal with such a small fry. The surrounding warriors looked at each other. For a moment, they were in a dilemma. At this moment, the young man with the folding fan held by the dragon claw said with difficulty, "Lead them there." "All right, follow me." After the warriors of the 2nd Hall heard this, they led the way. They passed through the tall mountains and came to a quiet place. The aura here was completely different from the outside. A few mountains stood there and formed a formation. It was very exquisite. Between the mountains and forests, there were spirit springs and waterfalls. Clouds and mist filled the air. The spiritual chi here was much denser than the outside world. This was truly a treasured land. It seemed that it was indeed the place of a certain elder. "Elder Hunyuan, get out here!" The Crimson Dragon roared. Its voice was like thunder, echoing in the sky. The surrounding void shattered, the birds and beasts in the surroundings flew away, and the waterfalls between the mountains flowed back. However, there was still no one around. It was as if there was no one here at all. Seeing this scene, the Crimson Dragon sneered. "You want to be a coward? Fine, I'll smash this treasure land and turn it into a land of death." Many shards of Dharma power rushed out of the Crimson Dragon's body, and lightning surged. The wind and clouds changed. It looked like it really wanted to tear down the treasure land. The surrounding warriors who followed to the 2nd Hall all changed their expressions and their scalps went numb. Who were these people? Weren't they too ruthless? "Stop!" At this moment, a few figures rushed out from the mountains in the distance. They carried a powerful aura and a cold voice sounded. "Who dares to cause trouble in the 2nd Hall? Get out!" The voice was full of majesty. Was someone finally here? The dark rainbow dragon sneered. "I'm not afraid that you won't come out. I'm the Deputy Hall Master of the 8th Hall. Our Hall Master Lin has come to see Elder Hunyuan." The North Demon stood out and said loudly, Hall Master Lin? The experts who came frowned. Their eyes flashed, and one of them said coldly, Elder Primordial Chaos was in seclusion and couldn't see anyone right now. Hall Master Lin, you should go back and wait. Humph! Lin Xian smiled. Was it because they couldn't meet him or because they didn't dare to meet him? A dignified elder actually used despicable means to snatch my weapon. Now that I've come looking for you, you know you're in the wrong and don't dare to come and see me? He was truly shameless to the extreme. How dare you! Courting death. The surrounding experts were all enraged. Hall Master Lin, I respect you as the 8th Hall Master, which is why I gave you face and spoke nicely to you. But remember, this is the 2nd Hall's territory. It's not a place where you can behave atrociously. The strength of your 8th Hall is far too lacking compared to our 2nd Hall. Not even a tenth of us. You don't have the right to be arrogant in front of me. Right now, we'll allow you to leave safely. Otherwise, if we were to really fight, I'm afraid that you, Hall Master Lin, would lose all face. A few of them sneered, not taking Lin Xian seriously at all. The reason for that was because it was as they had said. The 2nd Hall was extremely powerful, and the 8th Hall was truly nothing in their eyes. Kid, don't waste your breath on them. Just fight your way in and drag that Elder Hun Yuan out. The dark red dragon gritted his teeth. He had long known that these people were up to no good. Hearing this, the surrounding people's faces changed. Elder Hun Yuan was not an ordinary elder. He had an extremely prestigious status. The other party's words were obviously a slap to the 2nd Hall's face. At this moment, a figure suddenly appeared on the mountain peak in the distance. It was a woman in white. She looked like a fairy from the 9 heavens, but her voice was extremely emotionless. You really don't know the difference between life and death. You really dare to behave atrociously in my 2nd palace? Men, chop them up and feed them to the dogs. The woman stood with her hands behind her back, looking at the sky with endless arrogance in her eyes. She was Elder Hun Yuan's granddaughter. Hearing the woman in white's words, the surrounding experts of the 2nd Hall suddenly burst out with unparalleled light. They were about to attack. The Northern Demon shouted, How dare you! Although the 2nd Hall is powerful, do you really dare to attack us? Our Hall Master Lin is a peerless genius and the benefactor of the Langya Star. If you dare to touch him, are you trying to rebel? His voice was filled with endless majesty. For a moment, the surrounding people were stunned. The surrounding experts looked at each other in dismay. The woman in white on the mountain peak sneered. Hall Master Lin had rushed here and was very tired. He did not want to be taken advantage of by the 2 deputy Hall Masters and turned into a puppet by casting an illusion. The person who came killed the 2 deputy Hall Masters and rescued Hall Master Lin from the illusion. The woman in white let out a sinister smile. What a bunch of idiots. She had many reasons for wanting to kill people. It seemed that from now on, there would be 3 more wandering souls. Who cares if you are Lin Woody or a peerless genius? You dare to behave atrociously in the 2nd Hall? There is only one outcome, and that is death. Damn, what a vicious woman! The Northern Demon also cursed. The Crimson Dragon roared. Kid, did you see that? These people are too despicable. They obviously want to take away our things and kill us. If you don't attack now, you will really become a wandering soul. Attack? All right, I didn't expect it to come to this. However, you asked for it. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. The sword chi on his body was like a mountain that shot into the sky. From afar, it seemed that there were dozens of giant mountains in this blessed land. Attack! In the distance, the woman in white also roared. Immediately, the surrounding experts took a deep breath as if they had made some kind of decision. They quickly moved out. A bolt of lightning streaked across the void and charged forward with a destructive aura. The Crimson Dragon and the Northern Demon gasped. Damn it, a sage. Damn it, kid, it's up to you now. We will cheer for you from behind. Damn it, the 2nd Hall is too sinister. They immediately sent a sage to attack. It was obvious that they were going to kill them. However, they were not worried. Although the 2 of them were only half-saints, they were qualified to fight against a sage if they attacked with all their strength. More importantly, the person standing in front of them was Lin Xian. If he attacked, they would be very safe. In the face of the terrifying lightning, Lin Xian directly reached out his golden hand. The 5 elemental laws revolved around it, and he grabbed the lightning with his palm. Then he exerted force. The lightning shattered into pieces. Since you want to die, I will fulfill your wish. Lin Xian's body was filled with killing intent. Chapter 34-26. Damn it, just like the rumors say, he has become a sage. The experts from the second hall sucked in a breath of cold air. The weaker ones immediately ran away, while the stronger ones also acted as if they were facing a great enemy. He was a legendary peerless genius. Now that he had become a sage, they had to treat him with caution. No matter how powerful he is just a new sage. At most, he is on the same level as us. However, we are much more experienced than him. Moreover, we have 3 sages on our side. He definitely won't be able to stop us. The surrounding powerhouses said coldly. Indeed, there were 3 first heaven sages and more than 10 half-sages. They formed a formation in the distance as if to prevent the other party from escaping. Buzz! The first sage rushed forward. It was the lightning sage who had attacked earlier. At this moment, the lightning on his body became even more violent, turning into countless lightning beasts and condensing into a lightning hammer. It descended from the sky with a terrifying nomological power. Under the attack, it roared crazily. It was a scene of apocalypse. The Crimson Dragon gasped. Damn it, these people are too ruthless. They are all fatal attacks. The North Demon's face was also gloomy. Damn it, how dare they attack our own people? These people are really ruthless. Lin Xian sneered. Fatal attack? However, it was still not enough. He only threw out a slap, and it shattered the hammer of the Thunder God. Then, he slapped the sage in half. Boom! Saint blood spilled out in an instant, piercing through the surrounding void. The people around felt their scalps go numb. That combat strength is too strong. He can shatter a sage of the same level with a single attack? Attack together and kill him! The woman in white in the distance shouted angrily, her eyes filled with ruthlessness. As soon as she said that, the 3 sages attacked. One of them turned into an ancient heavenly court and descended from the sky. The lightning on it was terrifying. The other person had the galaxy nomological power on his body. The stars in the sky turned into a small universe and shrouded over. The last person roared at the sky. An abyss appeared under his feet. The nomological power kept circling inside as if it was going to swallow him. The 3 first heaven sages attacked mercilessly, wanting to completely suppress Lin Xian. Lin Xian let out a roar as he looked down on all the mountains. Countless mountains appeared under his feet, densely packed together. A disdainful aura swept across the surroundings. Lin Xian was like a supreme godly king as he looked down. Damn it, this aura! What was going on? In the distance, the 3 sages instantly froze. Their eyes widened, and their bodies began to tremble uncontrollably. The surrounding half-saints fell to their knees with a thud. They were like ancient subjects worshipping the heavens and earth. Pun pun pun. In the end, the 3 first heaven saints also knelt on the ground, although they only knelt on one knee. However, this scene was simply too shocking. The faces of the 3 saints were also filled with terror. They roared at the sky, wanting to break through this aura. However, they used too much strength, and many cracks appeared on their bodies. Blood flowed down, but none of them could stand up under the mountain view. Lin Xian, on the other hand, was like a celestial emperor, walking in the sky. With one step, the terrifying sacred domains of the 3 saints shattered continuously. The 3 of them also vomited blood. With one step, he injured a saint. After 3 steps, the 3 saints fell there, having completely lost their combat strength. Ha ha ha, damn bastard, how dare you attack us? How does it feel now? Does it feel good? The dark red divine dragon immediately leaped over and slapped the three sages' mouths. The sky full of dragon shadows slapped the faces of the three saints, making buzzing sounds. The surrounding second palace dancers were stunned. They looked at this scene in disbelief. The scene of the saints being slapped in the face was like a dream. "Damn it, stop! I'm going to kill you!" The three saints roared crazily, but under Lin Xian's feet, they could only float and could not resist. The Crimson Dragon sneered and shouted, "How dare you shout at me? It seems that you really don't know what kind of situation you are in." At this point, his dragon claws exerted even more force. Blood flowed from the corners of the three saints' mouths. However, the bodies of the saints were not something that the Crimson Dragon could destroy. Therefore, the Crimson Dragon's hands hurt after hitting them for a long time. The faces of the three saints did not change. "Damn it, old thing, your bones are so hard!" the Crimson Dragon roared. I'll stomp you to death!" As he spoke, he attacked the faces of the three saints with his hands and feet, and his dragon tail kept lashing out. At the same time, he said, "The two of you come and try. It feels good to slap the saints' faces." Lin Xian glanced at them and did not make a move. However, the northern demon stood up. "I'll try too." He was already angry. These saints wanted to kill him previously, so how could he hold back now? He rolled up his sleeve and slapped out. His palm turned into a divine tree and slapped the saint's face. He immediately felt a huge shock. At the same time, he exclaimed, "Damn it, it feels so good to slap the saints' faces. I seem to be addicted." They attacked left and right, and the sound of the collision was like thunder. The three saints were so angry that their bodies trembled, and white smoke rose from their heads. "Ah, damn it! I'm going to kill you! Let go of me if you dare, and I'll tear you into pieces." They were really mad. As saints, they were high and mighty, looking down on everything and everyone looked up to them. But now two half-saints, two ants, were slapping their faces. As for them, they were actually unable to fight back. This caused them to even have the heart to die. The young man with the folding fan was also terrified when he saw this scene. Previously, he thought that he was the most miserable, but now it seemed that he was much better. But then, he screamed in pain. The Crimson Dragon pulled him over with a slap. "And you, how dare you treat us like this before? Have a taste of my dragon claw." As he spoke, he smashed the young man's face. "How dare you!" the woman in white screamed in a sharp voice. The Crimson Dragon and the North Demon stopped. They looked at each other, sneered, and continued to slap the faces of the saints. "Damn it, someone kill them!" the woman in white screamed crazily. Powerful figures seemed to appear around her. It seemed that more experts from the second hall had arrived. The Crimson Dragon hurriedly called out to the North Demon and retreated again. This time, Lin Xian made his move. He slapped out with his golden palm and smashed the faces of the three saints. The bodies of the three saints were torn into pieces. The three saints were originally angry and wanted to vent their anger, but after Lin Xian's slap, they lost all their temper. The other party was too powerful. Although they were all saints of the first heaven, the other party's strength far surpassed theirs. In fact, they even suspected that it would be extremely easy for him to kill them. However, it seemed that the other party did not do that. After the other party smashed them into pieces, he directly summoned 3 5-element mountains and suppressed them to the ground. At the next moment, Lin Xian raised his head and looked at the woman in white in front of him. A cold light appeared in his eyes. Chapter 34-27. Lin Xian's gaze enveloped the woman in white, and her heart trembled. "Stop him! Take him down!" she screamed, and the powerhouses around her moved. Lin Xian shouted coldly, turned into a ray of sword qi, and charged forward. Wherever he passed, the saints who attacked were all sent flying. In the next moment, Lin Xian arrived in front of the woman in white. In front of him, the woman in white was scared out of her wits, and her scalp went numb. "He's too powerful. So many powerhouses can't stop him? Damn it, are you all trash? Hurry up and kill him! The woman in white screamed. Lin Xian snorted coldly. You still don't know what's good for you. He reached out his golden palm and grabbed her neck. No, damn it, how dare you attack me? My grandfather is Elder Primordial Chaos. You're dead meat if you attack me. As she said that, countless rays of light rushed out of her body as she retreated, forming a battle suit that enveloped her delicate body. She's Elder Primordial Chaos's granddaughter. That's great. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. If I capture this woman, I'm not afraid that the old thing won't come out. He pressed forward, blotting out the sky and completely sealing off the space. The woman in white could not escape at all. Damn it, break! The woman in white opened her mouth and spat out a jade-green saber. The terrifying saber light carried gnomological fragments as it tore through the void. She wanted to shatter the seal on the palm. However, the jade-green saber struck the void and made a shocking collision. However, the backlash caused the long blade to shatter with a loud bang and turn into powder. Pfft! The woman in white also spat out a mouthful of blood, and her face was filled with fear. Who is this person? He's too powerful. Her shocking attack didn't even cause a ripple in the hall. Instead, the power caused her to be injured. She wanted to scream and ask for help, but she could not make any sound. A hand reached out and grabbed her neck. It sealed all of her power. At that moment, she was lifted into the air like a doll. How dare you go against me? You can't even withstand a single blow. Lin Xian sneered. He exerted a bit of force and countless tiny cracks appeared on the white-clothed woman's body. Blood instantly dyed her white dress red. The white-clothed woman's face was filled with terror. She couldn't believe that the other party actually dared to attack her. Would the other party kill her? She didn't know. She was so scared that her whole body was trembling. When the surrounding second hall experts saw this, they screamed crazily. Damn it, stop it! They were really crazy. They didn't expect the other party to be so bold. Linwoody, let go of our miss, or I'll tear you to pieces. Are you trying to make the second hall your enemy? Hee hee, Lin Xian sneered in the face of so many crazy roars. Where was that old dog Hun Yuan? Tell him to come out. Otherwise, I will destroy her granddaughter's body and soul. At this point, Lin Xian's body emitted a terrifying killing intent, causing the surrounding people's scalps to go numb. They did not doubt that the other party would dare to do so. Sigh. At this moment, an old sigh was heard. Then, a mysterious array formation appeared on the ground between several huge mountains. Then, the array formation was torn apart, and an old man appeared on the array formation. Hall Master Lin, why do you have to do this? After the old man came out, he shook his head and sighed. Greetings, Elder. The surrounding experts from the second hall bowed respectfully. Lin Xian lowered his head and looked at the other party. You are Hun Yuan? That's right, I am Hun Yuan. Let's talk. Don't hurt my granddaughter. Whoosh whoosh. The dark rainbow dragon and the north demon came to Lin Xian's side. The crimson dragon jumped out. You are Hun Yuan, then things will be easy. Hand over the great spear of destruction, and we will let your granddaughter go. Otherwise, hee hee hee. Your granddaughter will experience the feeling of living a life worse than death. Like an old monster, he laughed. How dare you! Damn it, how dare you! The surrounding experts of the second hall roared crazily. The old man also raised his head, and stars flickered in his eyes. The great spear of destruction is still in use. Hall Master Lin, don't be impatient. I will return it when it's done. Nonsense. Lin Xian snorted coldly. I have already asked Saint Mubai. He doesn't need my great spear of destruction at all. But you still refuse to return it. Do you think I don't know what you are thinking? You are wrong. We are not using the great spear of destruction to communicate with the demonic chi, but for you. Hall Master Lin, you are a peerless genius. The great spear of destruction is a ferocious item. If you keep it for a long time, it will affect your state of mind. Maybe you will become a demon in the end. That will be very bad for you. I am willing to fall into hell and use my remaining life to purify the great spear of destruction. What I am doing is a good thing. Bah, good your head. The Crimson Dragon jumped up and cursed. You are too King shameless. If you want to snatch our treasure, just say so. Why did you say that you are doing good things for the world by evolving the demonic chi? Do good things, my ass. Do you believe that I won't cut your old bones into two? The Crimson Dragon was furious. The Northern Demon's expression was also gloomy. Lin Xian also shook his head and sneered. I have never seen someone as shameless as you. I have really opened my eyes today. However, it seems that you don't intend to hand over the great spear of destruction. You don't intend to take your granddaughter's life either. Since that's the case, don't blame me. He exerted a little force, and the woman in white immediately screamed in agony. More cracks appeared on her body. Her internal organs were completely shattered. However, under Lin Xian's control, she still maintained her human form. The people around her felt their scalps go numb when they heard her miserable screams. Elder Hunyuan's expression darkened. How dare you attack? An extremely terrifying light burst out from his eyes. His gaze was like divine fire that instantly pierced through the void. Damn, he's attacking! The Crimson Dragon was shocked and quickly retreated. However, Lin Xian was not afraid. He waved his sleeve, and the 5 elemental laws directly suppressed the attack. Boom! The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The mountains and rivers shattered. This collision was too terrifying. Lin Xian's expression also changed. Then, he used the stellar revolution to shift the power away. Next to him, the space where the second hall was directly shattered. What? He blocked it. He actually blocked Elder Hunyuan's attack. How is that possible? They were really shocked. Elder Hunyuan was a second heaven sage. Moreover, he was extremely terrifying among the second heaven sages. A second heaven sage could almost suppress a first heaven sage with a raise of his hand. However, the scene in front of them was beyond their expectations. The other party actually blocked the attack of a second heaven sage. And from the looks of it, he was not injured at all. Even Elder Hunyuan was stunned. Has the other party's combat strength already reached such a terrifying level? However, before he could think too much, Lin Xian's cold voice was heard. I see that you wanted to kill me with that attack just now. Since that's the case, don't blame me for being ruthless. A golden light appeared in Lin Xian's eyes. He directly used his ocular technique on the woman in white. Ah! The woman in white screamed miserably. How could she block Lin Xian's ocular technique? Chapter 34-28. Damn it, how dare you! Elder Primordial Chaos roared. His power erupted and swept through the 9 heavens. At the same time, he shouted coldly. Explode! A rune appeared between the white-clothed woman's eyebrows, and then it exploded with a loud bang. The huge force directly tore the white-clothed woman into a bloody mist. Lin Xian was also enveloped by the power of the self-explosion. However, the 9 yang divine body released a powerful force that suppressed everything. The self-explosion of a half-step saint was no threat to him at all. Whoosh! At that moment, the sky cracked open, and a black gourd appeared and completely collected the white-clothed woman's bloody mist. Then, it was grabbed by a woman. Elder Primordial Chaos was relieved. All the blood had been collected, and there was no threat to her life. It seemed that Elder Primordial Chaos had activated a defense talisman that his granddaughter had left in her body, and then caused the white-clothed woman to self-explode. At the same time, another saint made a move and collected all the bloody mist produced by the white-clothed woman. Although it would greatly damage the white-clothed woman's vitality and foundation, it would at least save her life. Seeing that his granddaughter's life was finally not in danger, Elder Primordial Chaos heaved a sigh of relief. In the next moment, a shocking killing intent burst out from his eyes as he stared at Lin Xian and the other two. How dare you torture my granddaughter like this? I will let you taste 100 times, No, 10,000 times the pain. I will destroy your souls. More and more powerhouses from the second hall appeared in the sky. In addition to the woman with the black gourd, another figure appeared in the sky. It was a man wearing black armor. He was very domineering as soon as he appeared. I will kill them. With a wave of his hand, endless killing intent swept toward Lin Xian and the other two. Step back, I will deal with them, Lin Xian said to the Crimson Dragon and the other two. The two of them stepped back. The Crimson Dragon activated the heaven-crippling chessboard, and the Northern Demon used the sky-reaching divine wood to defend himself. As for Lin Xian, he let out a long roar and punched out. His punch shattered the 9 heavens, shattering all the killing intent that filled the sky. Countless large cracks spread between heaven and earth. A mere early-stage second heaven saint wants to suppress me? What a joke. Let that old dog Primordial Chaos do it himself, or you will have no hope. How is that possible? He's so powerful? The black-armored man was also stunned. He was indeed a second heaven sage. An elder Primordial Chaos was at the late-stage second heaven saint, however. Even if he was in the early stage, he was not someone a first firmament saint could withstand. If he wanted to kill a saint in the late stage of the first firmament, it would be as easy as flipping his hand. Not to mention a kid who had just become a saint. But the result of the battle surprised him greatly. Could it be that the kid had some kind of magic treasure on him? Primordial Chaos, Saint Primordial Chaos, snatch chaoses. Lin Xian was thoroughly enraged right now as he struck out without any reservations. Very well, let me see just how miraculous a legendary peerless genius like you is. The black-armored man stood up, and his aura exploded. That was just a casual attack from me. Next up, I'll use my full strength. I'll let you know that even if you're a peerless genius, in the face of absolute power, you'll still have to bow down. The black-armored man was brimming with confidence. He was like a black god of war, looking disdainfully at everyone. Although he was shocked by the scene just now, he had already calmed down. After he used his full strength, the other party would definitely not be able to block it. Lin Xian laughed. Someone like you dares to talk about absolute power in front of me? What a joke. I will let you know that you are nothing but a joke in front of me. With a cold shout, Lin Xian charged forward. He was like streaks of golden sword light that split the world apart. Courting death. The black-armored man shouted coldly and pressed his palm down. Suddenly the black runes jumped and turned into a demonic mountain that descended from the sky. At this moment, everyone retreated in horror. Elder Primordial Chaos stomped his foot, and the government lit up. That was why no major destruction was caused. Otherwise, if the two of them had attacked, the second palace would have been reduced to ashes. Clang! An earth-shattering collision rang out as Lin Xian was sent flying, while the black palm was also sent flying. The two of them seemed to be evenly matched. Many people screamed at the sight of this. If the black-armored man was careless and did not use his full strength before, Lin Xian had an opportunity to take advantage of. But now, how could this be explained? The black-armored man had obviously used his full strength, but he was unable to instantly kill Lin Xian. The two of them were evenly matched. This was too unbelievable. A young man who had just become a saint had combat strength comparable to an early-stage second heaven saint. Wasn't this too terrifying? As expected of someone who had two great inheritances. He was truly heaven-defying. Many powerhouses felt their scalps go numb. The black-armored man also frowned. 5 elemental laws, no wonder you are so powerful. I didn't expect you to be able to cultivate the 5 elemental laws. However, it's a pity that you're still going to die against me. At this point, an extremely terrifying black light flashed in the black-armored man's eyes. In the next moment, the aura on his body skyrocketed. A ball of black flames surged out. It was obvious that he had made up his mind to kill. Because the other party was too terrifying. Since he had already become an enemy of the second palace, he had to go out. Although the other party was a peerless genius and the future hope of the Langia star, so what? Just as the Crimson Dragon had said before, the Langistar was not a monolithic piece of metal. If this kid cooperated and was willing to hand over the spear of great destruction, then it would be fine. But he was too reckless. But since the other party was so reckless, there was no need for such a genius to live. At this moment, the black-dressed woman next to him was also a Dao. She could be captured alive. Don't forget that he had 2 great inheritances. He might even know the whereabouts of the great emperor's inheritance. Obviously, they were all targeting Lin Xian, especially the great emperor's inheritance. How dare you guys target me? You really don't know what's good for you. Fine, I'll let you guys see what I can do. The 5 elemental laws flew out from Lin Xian's body and turned into a 5 elemental divine sword that he held in his hand. He slashed out with the sword, sweeping in all directions. The terrifying sword intent caused the surrounding people to almost faint from fright. The black-armored man also roared angrily. The black flames on his body jumped and turned into a long black blade that slashed out. In an instant, the blade and sword collided, and the world rumbled. The power of the ocean soared into the sky. This scene was so terrifying that it made the people of the second palace tremble in fear. Buzz! Buzz! In the sky, countless arrays lit up, completely covering the second palace. It seemed that they wanted to isolate all auras to prevent others from coming to save Lin Xian. Chapter 34-29. Oh no, these people from the second hall are too despicable. They actually sealed the entire area. I'm afraid we won't be able to escape. The Crimson Dragon's expression changed. However, an angry roar came from the front. They hurriedly looked forward, afraid that Lin Xian would be injured. But soon, they were stunned and then heaved a sigh of relief. The others screamed. That's impossible. That was because the one who was injured was not Lin Xian, but the black-armored man. The black-armored man's black armor had been cut open. Not only that, but there was also a gash on his body, revealing deep white bones. He's injured. The black-armored man had been injured in the battle with Lin Xian. Moreover, he had been injured within 4 or 5 moves. How could Lin Xian be so powerful? That's impossible. The black-armored man roared crazily. He knew that Lin Xian had a strong physique, powerful attacks, and 2 great inheritances. But so what? Lin Xian was at most a level 1 king. But at the second heaven? The difference in the laws of heaven and earth was enough to make up for those inheritances. Previously, in his opinion, Lin Xian's strength was largely due to the Spear of Destruction, a peerless weapon. Now that Lin Xian did not have the Spear of Destruction, his combat strength would definitely be greatly reduced. No matter how strong he would not be able to do anything to him. However, he realized that he was wrong. Lin Xian was still incomparably powerful. A few simple sword strikes had broken through his defense. Seeing the other party's flustered and exasperated look, Lin Xian sneered. I told you, you don't have the right to talk about absolute power in front of me. It's already good enough that you can keep your life. Let that old dog Primordial Chaos do it. Otherwise, you won't be a match at all. What arrogance! Suddenly, the woman in the black dress made her move. She took out a black jade bottle and directly threw it out in the air. The black jade bottle was covered with doubt patterns. As soon as the laws appeared, they swept Lin Xian and kept him inside. In the next moment, the woman in the black dress held the jade screen and laughed. What peerless genius! You've been kept by me. In my black jade bottle, you'll turn into a pool of blood in less than 5 minutes. Oh no, another second heaven saint. The expressions of the Crimson Dragon and the North Devil changed. Damn it, how despicable and shameless. You 2 saints of the second heaven actually attacked at the same time. Where is your face? The Crimson Dragon roared crazily. Northern Demon also snorted coldly. How despicable. This brat is too strange, and he is famous. He is a peerless genius. The fact that we, 2 saints of the second heaven, attacked him shows that we take him seriously. Don't make a fuss because I will send you to the Yellow Springs record very soon. The three of you won't be lonely on the road to the Yellow Springs. The black-dressed woman raised her palm, and the laws quickly gathered. She was also an early-stage second heaven saint. If she wanted to kill the North Demon and the Crimson Dragon, it would be a piece of cake. Not good, prepare to break out. At the very least, he had to find Mu Bai, or else Lin Xian would really be in danger. The Dark Rainbow Dragon and the North Yao had made up their minds. They decided to break through. Humph, do you think you can leave? No one will know that you are going to die here. The black-armored man sneered and stomped his foot, suppressing the surroundings and sealing the surrounding space. Not good, she is too strong. We can't break through a second heaven saint. The North Devil frowned, and the Crimson Dragon farmer was also anxious. If you push me too far, Benwan will die together with you. Ha ha ha, die you too, ants. The black-dressed woman reached out her hand, getting closer and closer to the Crimson Dragon farmer. If she caught them, they would not be able to escape. However, at this moment, the black jade bottle in her right hand suddenly exploded. The terrifying power caused half of the black-dressed woman's body to explode, turning her into a bloody mist. Ah! The black-dressed woman screamed crazily. Her left hand, which was originally reaching out, stopped in midair. What happened? The black-armored man was stunned. Meng Nan turned his head. The people of the second hall gasped. Elder Huinyuan's eyelids also twitched. Did something happen? You want to trap me with a broken bottle? You think too highly of yourself. Lin Xian flew out from the broken bottle, his body glowing brightly. Like the sun war god, his eyes were filled with disdain. It seems like you've lived for too long and don't know the changes in the world. Hurry up and get lost. All of you are no match for me. If you dare to move again, this young master will slaughter all of you. Lin Xian's eyes were filled with a strong killing intent. Courting death. The woman in the black dress recovered and charged over as if she had gone mad. In addition, the black-armored man also charged over. They didn't believe that the two of them wouldn't be able to take down their opponent. Damn, how shameless. If you have the ability, fight me one-on-one. That's right. 2 second heavenly layer sages joining hands to deal with a young junior. You guys are really embarrassing yourselves. The North Demon and Enhong roared, but it was to no avail. Clearly, these 2 second-tier saints were determined to kill Lin Xian. Around them, the people from the second hall sneered. They knew that with 2 saints in the second heaven, the other party would definitely die. Fire Spirit Heavenly Saber. The black-armored man wielded a black flaming saber and struck out a terrifying saber light. As the laws of fire danced, it shook the heavens and the earth. 9 revolutions of rain. The woman in the black dress continued to dance as endless nomological laws formed 9 black gourds that formed an array formation that enveloped Lin Xian. From the looks of it, he wanted to refine Lin Xian alive. Lin Xian used the Kunpeng movement technique and dodged quickly. At the same time, he waved his palm. Stellar transposition. Under his mystique, the power of the 2 second-tier saints underwent a shocking change. The terrifying black saber light brought with it an extremely strong power of laws. It didn't attack Lin Xian, but slashed towards the woman in the black dress. The woman in the black dress transformed into 9 black gourds and enveloped the black-armored man. In an instant, the 2 of them screamed and retreated crazily. Damn it, how dare you attack me? Damn it, aren't you trying to refine me? What's going on? The surrounding people were stunned. Why was Lin Xian fine? Their 2 saints had both been injured? This scene was too bizarre. Even the dark red divine dragon and the dark red divine dragon were stunned. They sucked in a breath of cold air. Oh my heavens, what kind of technique is this kid using? It wasn't the 9 Sons' inheritance, or the great dragon sword soul. Could it be that he had obtained something else? Perhaps it was Brother Lin's new mystique. The North Demon was also shocked. Below, Elder Hunyuan frowned. What are you 2 doing? Hurry up and take him down. Yes. The 2 of them took a deep breath, and a cold light burst out from their eyes. This time, they separated a little. Once again, they used the same mystique and attacked Lin Xian. Lin Xian's lips curled into a cold smile. They didn't know what was good for them. You're tuning into the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.